called Smut. Give me smut and nothing but a dirty novel I can't shut.
Hi, everyone. Hi. Oh, here's our amazing. Yeah, there it is.
Thanks, Bryce.
Yeah, thanks, Bryce.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm Emily.
I'm Jess.
And welcome to Films Reading Phil. That was a really good one.
Every time we nail it.
We are singers.
We really do.
We are performers.
I'm not.
We are showmen.
You're more of a showman than I am. I'm just married to one.
Yes. Hey, you're here for Femmes Reading Phil Halloweenies. It's our Halloween show, everyone.
Yeah, we're so excited to be here. This is our second time doing this, and I still am very surprised that people are here. So thanks so much for
This is nice. It's very nice.
guys. A few bits and pieces of housekeeping before we get started. So the tickets do go to a good cause. $5 of every ticket goes to
the Friendship Center Food Pantry.
Yes.
So you help feed people.
Yeah. Help some folks get a Thanksgiving dinner that they may not have already had.
Correct.
And then also you may have seen the raffle out front. Mm-hmm. Please put your name in our little bucket, and you'll win potentially some merch, maybe a little gift card from the Last Chapter bookstore.
Yep. If you don't know what they are, they're an all-romance bookstore that opened in Chicago a few months ago, and they started doing book boxes back in 2021. They have a mortar and brick store in Roscoe Village, and they're fabulous, and we love them very much.
Yes.
And so go get a prize from them.
Yeah. Do that.
So just so you guys know, this is a Halloween show.
It is.
It's spooky.
In case you couldn't tell.
Yes.
We're spooky.
We're spooky. We're dressed up like devils, if you can't tell.
Yeah.
Mine blend in with my hair, but those are horns.
She has horns. And so the theme of today is murder.
And who best to talk about murder than us, and also husband of the pod,
Keenan
Camp. So can you all put your hands together to
welcome our guest, Keenan Camp.
Amazing.
Bang, bang! I've got bigger horns.
Yeah. It's not a competition.
Not a competition.
Always.
It's how you use them. It's
that's what we've heard.
Yeah. Hey, welcome.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Yeah, you're basically our Halloween guest.
I know. I loved doing it last year on the recorded podcast, and I insisted on coming back for this one.
He did. I got
truly
like
did.
2 months of, have you picked the guest yet?
So who's gonna be
who's gonna do the
spooky
Halloween?
guy?
I don't know if any of you have experienced rolling over in bed and seeing your husband staring at you and asking,
Who's gonna be the spooky guy?
So many times.
So many times.
Every Tuesday.
Not even in this context.
So can you tell the lovely folks about, why you might have been so passionate about being our Spooky Time guest?
I am a big fan of horror. I'm a big fan of really bad horror, very good horror. That is primarily what I grew up on. I grew up afraid of the VHS horror section a little bit, but it also intrigued me so much. So it was one of those things that you'd kind of run past quickly just to catch a glance.
Sexy. It was exciting.
It was sexy and exciting, and
much like a smut novel.
Yeah, and I think I also have like a lot of anxiety around death. So I think seeing other people die is therapeutic.
A little comforting? Maybe?
Yeah.
I don't care about this one.
Yeah, exactly. Like, good. It wasn't me.
Yeah. So wait, so you were scared of it, and
Yes.
then when did you pop your cherry, as it were?
I mean, as a very young child.
This makes so much sense about you.
Checks out.
These horns.
Yeah, it was. I watched there. I remember specifically there was a movie called The Gate Started a young
Huge
dwarf.
following here.
And there was a hole in this kid's backyard, and some demons came out of it. And my dad rented it, and we watched it. And I was probably in 2nd or 3rd grade.
Cute. That's a nice story.
except we
It's
woke
that
up with
movie shouldn't be
nightmares.
watched by a 2nd or 3rd grader.
And that was a movie that like burnt into my brain.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, I was just kind of like, more.
Was that like the first thing you ever had nightmares about?
Yeah, that was the first
Yeah.
movie I remember having nightmares.
Do you remember
about.
the first movie you ever had nightmares about?
I don't remember having. I don't really have nightmares about movies. I had a nightmare.
Fucking brag.
I had a reoccurring nightmare when I was a kid that I was being chased by a giant snake through our backyard, and that was the main one for like 5 years. So the movies couldn't really make their way in.
Yeah.
It was just.
It was too busy. You're too
It was
busy with
just the snake.
Yeah.
It was just me and the
Maybe
snake.
you saw like a glimpse of Anaconda, the
That's
movie
what I was
starring
thinking.
J-Lo.
That's exactly what I was
Yeah.
I don't know, when did that movie come out? Maybe
95.
Maybe actually.
I was mirroring what you said.
Yeah.
I don't know. 90, I'm gonna go 99 just
Before
to be different.
John Voight was really awful.
But it was after
Yeah.
John Voight was really great.
Is it?
I don't know.
It was that John Voight middle period. That
Yeah,
we all-
it was the middle
Neutral
the
period?
middle Voight. It was
Yeah.
the
I
middle
was to say it
Voight.
was an all sarcasm.
What about you?
It was so I had a reoccurring nightmare that I was in a bathroom at Six Flags.
Obviously.
And a man with green skin came and tried to kidnap me. But
So
if we're talking about movies, though, it was the cover of Edward Scissorhands, which I now love, actually.
just the cover of it?
Just the cover. I was too scared to watch it. And he was very scary, and I thought he would, like, come up, like, against, like, over the bedside with his, like with his
Freddy
scissor.
Krueger in the bathtub?
Yeah, with his scissor fingers, and I thought he would, like, kind of meow like a cat.
Yeah.
If I know this is an
little
audio
flop.
podcast, but
Floppy.
I'm doing a
hand.
floppy wrist, if you will.
Do
Yeah.
a floppy cat wrist?
I'm doing a floppy cat wrist, and so I did like build a fort with my pillows.
Right.
I once, my mom can attest. Also, my mom's here again, you guys. I once put booby traps around my room, like from my door to my bed.
Oh, I did that.
Like I would put my laundry basket there, and then she'd be like, "Damn it, Emily!" But it was so the vampires and Edward Scissorhands couldn't get.
I think that's a pretty common thing,
Yeah.
actually.
I also loved the Goonies, so booby traps were huge.
I also wanted to ask: was the nightmare about the man with the green face
Yeah.
because you watched The Mask too early?
No, but he looked like the child catcher from Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. Anyone else? Okay, because that fucking that man still haunts my dreams, and
Yeah.
not in a sexy way.
I understand.
That nose haunts my dreams. Anyway, sorry.
That's
So
my dreams.
you feel good about that?
Nope, I don't.
Okay. Hey, so Murder, why don't you explain what you picked as our topic and why you picked it?
Well, it evolved because I think the
Did
first
evolve.
thing
Did
that
evolve.
I set up was like zombie fucking. I
No.
think, and I think
I
I
believe
asked
it was-
that, and I think or was it.
I believe it was cannibalism.
That was
Cannibalism.
after. That was
I don't think I
no,
heard
we won't
zombie.
see
No.
zombie
Yeah,
fucking.
I got zombie fucking and immediately went. Don't even tell Emily about that.
I'm so glad.
And then it changed to cannibalism because he was like, "This will be more accessible."
And I was like,
Yeah.
it's not as sexy as you think in the Kindle Unlimited world.
Well, that's a challenge. But then I thought, yeah, murder. It's safe. Like serial killers. There's a sexy appeal. I think we're all like, especially there's some sort of appeal to that in a weird way. That can be problematically sexy, I guess.
I think you also at one point was like, we were like, no cannibalism. You're like, how about like a serial killer with a little cannibalism?
Yeah, I think the challenge
really
is
into
like just
it.
a little bit.
we tried to work
Right.
together, and they
Like
didn't.
a toe.
A toe.
And I was like, we have to talk about this in front of people. Like, that's not gonna. We can make a
all
lot of things
degenerates.
sexy. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, degen.
But I guess that does get into. So we do feel that we should do a bit of a content warning right
Yep.
at the top.
Trigger warning.
And first of all, we just want to say, for the record, that murder is bad.
Yeah, we don't condone serial killers.
We don't think serial killers are cool.
We don't think they're sexy.
No.
We think aspects of these stories are sexy, and they just happen to have serial killers.
And
in
we'll
them.
get into why.
And we'll
We're
get-
going to justify this to ourselves as a group so that then we can enjoy the rest of the show.
And we've been so worried about it that we've talked to people, and they were like, "You care so much that it means you don't like serial killers."
And we went,
Like,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've talked about this. My therapist Lauren, who listens to this, hi Lauren, did say that I shouldn't worry, that I do not like serial killers. So we're all good on that
So
front.
if you guys don't like this show, Lauren is going to hear about it.
Yeah. And she knows about most of you by now.
Do you agree with us about that? That was the official Femmes Reading Phil stance, but if you can have your own
not the Emily and Jess stance, but the
think-
official
I
FRF
think
stance.
In general, yeah, murder's bad.
Yeah.
I think Meredith, my therapist, would pat me on the back for saying that. What up, Meredith? I'm going to try to get you to listen to this.
She's been listening the whole time.
Probably. No. I think murder's bad.
Okay. So we're all, everyone here knows we
Unless you
all
have
think
to
it's
do it.
bad. For like a revenge. Or like justice.
Yeah.
I meant to say justice first.
I think you still have some time.
I'm
stuff
so-
to talk about.
Worried right now. So just at the top, we're just gonna say that. And everyone cool with that?
Great.
Audience participation.
Woo! And then Emily turned to me and went, "Hey, can you do research for this one? Because you do all the research all the time for the podcast." And I said, "Yes, I would be honored to."
I did the research for the first episode.
They don't
season
know
3,
about that yet.
but it's coming out soon.
They don't know about it.
And Mom, I did the research for the first one. Thank you.
They both did a very good job.
Anyway, so we don't have to because we already kind of talked about a little bit about horror movies and the sexiness of horror movies, maybe a
Allure?
little bit. But there is so I was looking around because I was trying to look into the psychology of why people find
This is
horror movies
more
sexy.
research than I've ever done in my
No,
entire
because I was. It's something that I've always wondered because I like dark shit, and I've always been drawn to it. And I was like, somebody must have researched why I'm fucked up, right?
100%.
Nobody has, as far as I could tell, or at least not to my satisfaction. But there is a long history of storytelling that involves murder and why people might find it erotic. So there's dark romanticism, which was Edgar Allan Poe, all of his shit. And then there was erotic horror, which is if you think of Dracula and 30s and 40s, those types of movies. And then we get into erotic thriller, which is Eyes Wide Shut.
I was gonna say early 90s.
I was going to say Psycho.
I was gonna say Jade. Is that too much of a
Wow,
pull
what
for
a
you?
deep cut.
That was just for Keenan, no one else. So I hope
I'm
maybe
gonna crack
Joe
open
kinda
my
get-
drink
no?
after that one. That was
Welcome.
Jeepers, Jade. Okay.
There's a long history of people telling stories about the dark side of things. And there's a long history of people being not turned on, but excited by and wanting to experience horror content. And I would argue that there's a very thin line between experiencing and being thrilled by horror movies and experiencing and being thrilled by an erotic horror
Is it
story.
is the thin line adrenaline though?
Yes.
Is it oh, okay.
Yes.
I
So
thought there was gonna be a little back and forth.
Well, so
Nailed it.
So I found this. I found this article in Psychology Today, and I'm really excited to get your take on it because I found it really interesting.
You're gonna synopsize the article for
I have notes. Well, no. So it's basically about. It also talked a lot about how this type of content. The erotic thriller compared to the slasher is usually more preferred by women, and the slashers more in our surveys say preferred by men, and a lot of that stems to this theory of it is a safe way to experience and get inside of the mind of someone who is dangerous without actually having to deal with it in real life. And women tend to deal with being threatened a little bit more than men in the day
I
to
was gonna
day.
say slasher is always a woman is targeted, but she comes
And
out
screaming and running and a lot of blood.
There's a final girl, and she has to be virginal, and she has to be the I've defeated you because I was pure.
Whereas
and
an erotic thriller type
Jade.
thing, like Jade, or Silence of the Lambs, where there is a bit of a relationship between Clarice and Hannibal Lecter, and she's getting inside of his mind, and that tends to be what people gravitate.
I guess that's I love Criminal Minds.
Yeah.
I love Spencer Reed from Criminal Minds. I think about him a lot.
So the Psychology Today article.
So yeah, this is all making sense.
So according to Psychology Today, humans evolved to learn through play. So if you look at like animals and things, they like learn through like chasing each other and play fighting and that sort of thing. And your body like learns how to respond to scary situations through practice. And so
Like tickling.
yeah, like to exactly
Yeah.
like tickle.
No, like your body, you tense up. I know what I'm talking about. Tickling is scary for some people.
And so this person thinks the reason we derive pleasure from scary things is because it's our brain rewarding us for learning how to avoid danger evolutionarily. And it's your brain going, yeah, now you know how to escape that guy because you saw a film about it. Congratulations.
That's true, actually. I guess I have taken like mental notes from movies before, but like I would do that. Or,
Yeah.
like, yeah.
And we don't often like experience that in real life. So the closest often we can get is forms of media.
This is the most academic.
Isn't that interesting? I just thought it was so cool.
Can I clap for Jess? That was incredible. She quoted a fucking Psychology Today. That was or Weekly or whatever the fuck it was.
Sweating up here after the amount of research I did for this podcast. Oh my god. Anyway, would you say that your story follows those lines?
I'd say my story is fucked up and I'm excited to tell you guys about it. And yes, it does.
Because
Like,
we're gonna get into your story first.
but yeah, just real quick, do you have any like expectations of these stories going
I
forward?
brought a pen and a pad of paper to take
wow.
some notes, just in case you ask me which one I liked more.
Okay.
And
We
it's
will.
Really
That's our
gonna
thing.
be based on like the amount of like jaw drops that I have and like oh my god.
I gotta tell my story a little differently.
Oh no. I
gotta
want
flash
you
him
to
while
tell
you do
how it is. I'm looking for some chills.
Ooh.
I'm looking for a few jaw drops.
okay.
I'm looking to.
Do you mean like a sexy jaw job?
Yeah,
like when a
sexy or just like
penis
that's
goes
fucked
in?
up. Like
Yeah,
that
like a-
kind of
oh,
jaw
okay.
drop. Or and also I want to question my own like
Sexuality.
not in a way of like oh that hit me in a way that I wasn't expecting. That's what I want.
Yeah,
This is a really tall
This is
order.
a big order.
Hey, that's why I brought a pen and a paper.
You mean business.
Shit. Okay.
You guys ready to get into the first story? Okay, because I read so many books for this fucking show. And I just want to say that I initially was going to do Butcher and Blackbird, which is actually a fantastic book. And it's about two serial killers who fall in love. It's lovely. It's wonderful. I did not do it because it's incredibly long, but please go read it. There is a full page and a half of trigger warnings, but it's like not super gross, but it's super fun. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about Brutal.
Do you want to tell the people at what point you texted me that you were changing to this one?
2 days ago. So I read this in 2 days. It is 218 pages. I had also take notes, and I also had to send you a whole thing being like, is this okay? Which we're gonna find out. It's part of the Pleasure and Prey series.
Ooh.
By AJ Merlin. It's called Brutal. It's the second in a series of 4, so buckle up. And it came out January 27th, 2023.
I assume it's pray like EY and not pray like
Not
AY.
AY.
Pray like EY.
We're not doing a priest episode. We're doing,
I've been pushing
It's
for it
primal,
and we
not-
haven't gotten there yet.
unless someone asks for it, we're not doing it. I hope no one asks for it. So, let's set the scene. Ooh. It's the last day of camp.
Yeah.
Hazel, the camp counselor, who is 23, is sitting on a picnic table under the fairy lights that decorate the trees at Camp Clearwater. After 2 months of hosting 2-week camps left and right, the summer is finally over and she is relishing in the quiet. I'll stop doing that. I'm so sorry. Jenna, her BFF, comes up and is like, bitch, why aren't you at the party? You're missing the party. And Hazel's like, I don't want to drink. I just am thinking about jobs, and like when I go back, I hope my part-time job at the flower shop is still there. Like,
Oh no.
I hope
Not
I can
the
make
flower
money.
shop.
And she's just unsure if it's going to cover rent. Hazel,
Wait. So sorry if I missed it. She's like a camp counselor.
For the summer, she was a camp counselor.
Okay, so it's like the end of the year camp counselor party.
Then
Okay.
they go crazy. All the kids are gone.
I'm picturing Wet Hot American Summer where they like all do heroin and then go back to the camp.
I'm thinking more like big bonfire, like the radio is cranked to 11. And
Oh, like
the
in Wet
tunes
Hot
are
American
on.
Summer where they're like in the woods
Yes.
at the bonfire. Okay.
Yeah. At the first party, not
Got it.
the second party. Hazel also jokes, and she's like, I don't want to be at the party because all that noise might attract the murderer. So So she goes along to the party. Wait! I am telling this how I read it. I just want you all to know. Because
sorry.
I read that and I went, huh? And then it said she went to the party.
Okay.
Just matter of fact.
We'll find out.
Right. Well.
She goes along to the party, and while the other of-age young adults start drinking and hanging, she's listening to the radio that reports the body of Kristen White. It was found 10 miles from the camp, and this has been happening all summer. What? No one. It's only 10 miles though, so they're safe at Camp
They're
Clearwater.
fine.
It's all kids. Who would kill
Walk 10
kids?
miles.
No.
No one can walk 10 miles in these shoes. And so she goes, she's like, oh my God, this is crazy. She gets up to tell Jenna, but then she sees across the party that Jenna and another counselor, M, probably based off me, are flirting. And she's like, okay, I can't. She's been trying to get on this girl all summer. Like, I don't want to interrupt. And so as she's thinking about what to do, Brett, who is 27, ages older than the 23-year-olds.
No.
Ages.
No.
Grabs her arm and is like, are you okay? And he's been trying to get her alone and flirt all summer. And she was
Fucking
like, she's like, ew, no. But he's like, are you okay? And she's looking distressed. And it kind of takes Hazel off guard that he's finally being nice to her at the end of the summer.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And so she.
I don't trust Brett.
No one does. If you know a Brett, don't trust them.
Brett says he's 27, but he is 35.
Well, he's the son of the camp owners.
Even worse.
Probably.
Even worse.
Whatever he wants. And he's like, do you want to go outside and talk? Because, they're in the rec center because that's where the party is. And she's like, yeah, sure. And so she follows him into the woods.
Fucking.
Yeah. I also want to say,
Sorry, what is her name?
Hazel isn't really making the best decisions, but
That's
she's...
what summer's about.
Listen. She wants to live her full life.
She wants to still be friends next year.
Yeah. And she's like, you know what? Okay, this guy isn't my type. He hasn't really been the nicest to me all summer, but yeah, I'll go talk to him about a possible
In the
murderer.
woods?
So she thought they'd just step right outside, but he's taking her kind of on a hike, and she's following because what else is she supposed to do?
Not
And
go.
She's like, okay, Brett, what the fuck? I wanted to just talk, and he's like, yeah, I thought you wanted some time alone, and she was like, yeah, about the murderer, you dumbass. He's killed 3 people in 2 weeks, and Brett's like, okay. So he's inching closer to her as she's like, there's been murders.
Brett.
And she's like, oh, fuck no. And then she trips over a branch because it's the woods.
She's so clumsy.
And he catches her and he grabs onto her arm, but doesn't let go. And he pulls her closer and is like, what's your deal? And she's trying to push away. She's like, dude, no. And she hears a crack of a twig, if you will. And she's like, did you hear that? He's like, no, why have you been leading me on all summer? And she's like, I haven't talked to you all summer. Every time you get near me, I turn away. Which I was like, good for you, buddy.
What?
What?
Oh,
Are you
I
okay?
just mouthed Brett's gonna fucking die.
It's an audio medium, so if you could speak all your thoughts
Yeah,
out
you
loud.
can't just make.
I didn't want to
Gestures.
interrupt. And
Okay, that's
No.
fair.
Hey,
Thank you, though.
hey,
Please do.
That's your whole job.
Yeah, you actually have to do that.
So feel free.
I'm a polite Midwestern boy.
Yeah. No, jump in.
He hears nothing, and then she's like, fuck you, I'd rather be here with a murderer than you fucking creep. And then Brett gets angry, and he grips her hard, and she closes her eyes. She's like, maybe he's gonna hit me, when all of a sudden she feels his grip loosen. Yes. And she feels something splatter on her face. Yes! She opens her eyes to see a man standing next to Brett, a machete falling to his side. He's wearing an oversized coat, a t-shirt, relaxed jeans, with a plastic hockey mask on.
Still hot.
I was gonna say Camp Clearwater is too close to Crystal Lake, right?
Oh yeah. So he steps. Brett is now on the ground. His throat has been opened, and
That was my question. Was what's the nature of the wound?
I was gonna say, should I say his throat was slit?
Oh yeah. Wait. Do you have any trigger warnings?
So blood.
Actually, we should
We
probably
should do some legit. There's some primal dubious consent, but everything's consensual. Everything's consensual. I just want to put that on. Except the murders. Thank you, Jake. And I think sneaking up on people, is that a trigger? like surprising people.
It can be. Yeah.
I don't think there's anything. I don't think there's anything bad except for those.
Right. No, sorry. I realized
no,
we didn't
thank
do
you.
them and wanted to leave an
I've
opening.
most likely forgotten some, so I'll say them as I say them.
Great.
He steps over Brett, and she's frozen in fear, and he reaches out and he cups her chin, and she whispers, "Please don't kill me." And then he steps past her and walks away.
Fucking A.
Towards-
Baller move.
Silent but deadly.
Towards the camp.
Great.
Oh, no. So he's picked out, he's like, you're my final girl.
So she's all like,
Maybe.
wait, I'm scared for my friends. She screams no, and she picks up a rock and throws it at him. Now, would you guys throw a rock at a killer who's
Not if he was
walking
already
away?
walking away from
No,
you.
and especially if he just, like, killed somebody for you.
Which I thought kind of hot.
Yeah.
Can we note that Keenan is already fully on the side of this guy being
Yeah.
hot because he
Oh,
killed
yeah.
somebody for her?
Okay, he
I want
turns.
this to work out.
So she throws like a not a boulder. Well, not a boulder. Like
Very strong.
not a pebble, but like a
Stone.
a stone.
A
is
rock?
A rock. Well, I'm trying to. Again, this is an audio medium, but I'm just holding.
Palm size
I think that's
stone.
the size of a rock.
Okay, so she threw the rock. And he just turns around and goes, "Really?" Which honestly did make me laugh. And she goes, "I can't let you kill my friends." She throws another rock, and he's like, "Don't fucking throw rocks at me." Which again made me laugh. I am like 10% of the way in this book at this point. And he goes, "You're gonna regret it." And she goes, "Fine." She throws a third rock, and then he starts chasing her through the woods.
Great.
And it's just like a ton of. She's trying to lead him away from the camp. It's like a full chapter of her running. And I
Does
was
she
like,
have any
this is
like
the worst.
at this point? Because she's thrown many rocks at this man who has just murdered
Three rocks.
3 rocks. Who's just murdered this man? Is there any hint of like, oh, he's got like good shoulders?
No,
or
not
anything
yet.
like
Well,
that?
he's tall.
Okay.
He was.
It's all you need sometimes.
It's the oversized. Well, honestly, yes. It's the oversized coat that like she can't really tell his physique, but
Got it.
I would assume great physique. So she throws another. He chases her through the woods. So much running. She runs to the lake, and he catches her, and she's like, "Ah!" And she has her phone. She's about to call Jenna, and Jenna's like, "Where are you? We found Brett's body." And she's like, "I'm." And then the killer's like, "I got you." And she's like, "No." She drops the phone, keeps running.
Does he actually say, "I gotcha"?
Kind of. He's like, "Ha! I'm here." It's like something like that. I didn't write it down. And so then he catches her again in the woods. So this motherfucker's fast.
Yeah.
And with a mask on, which hinders your breathing.
Again, this man owns a treadmill and he uses it.
Hundo P.
You need to if this is what you're doing.
So
You play hockey.
yeah.
Where else would he have gotten the mask?
This is also, I just love a hockey boy, so this is also why I picked
Oh
this.
God, you found a way to do a sports
I
romance.
found a way to do a sports romance. So she is exhausted in the woods. She like collapses. She's like, I can't run anymore. He finds her. He kneels and cups her chin, and again is like, "Hey, little bunny." And he has these.
Wait.
Sorry, he's decided to call her Little Bunny.
Why?
Because she's his prey, and he is the hunter, and she was caught in his snare.
I get it.
you don't hate
I
it?
get it. I like Bunny. You're fine. Keep going.
I like a pet name.
Yep, keep going.
I like a pet name.
Yep. I just got a Of Mice and Men glimpse, and so,
Yeah.
but
And he has leather gloves on, and as he's cupping her chin, she's like, "Wow, this leather smells kind of good."
Oh, okay. I get that.
After
Yep, I get
he's
that.
just like unalived somebody, and he has blood all over him. He's like, "No, the leather smells pretty nice." There's a hint of blood.
Probably a hint of blood. Yeah,
Yeah.
some pennies in there.
And he tells her to beg, and she's like, "No, fuck you." And he's like, "You begged me not to kill your friends. Why aren't you gonna kill me?" And she's like, "If you're gonna kill me, I'm not gonna beg. But also, why did you save me from Brett?" And he's like, "Save you? Maybe I was jealous he was touching the girl I've been coming out here to watch all summer." He takes notice
I
of the
just
little
slipped off my
things.
chair.
Oh my god!
Yeah, Keenan, how do you feel? How do you feel about that?
That's pretty. I mean,
development.
listen, I'm taking this in context of the story, and as that story, yeah, that's okay.
It feels in character.
That's pretty good.
It's in
yeah,
character,
Jason doesn't talk though, so I know this is not.
Yeah, this is not.
Jason.
It's just based off of Jason-like figure.
That's the only thing I'm currently processing and getting over as we go on, but we can. Keep
Okay, you know what? What if it was a catcher's mask instead of a hockey mask?
No. I'm just gonna. This is Jason's brother.
He's got to work through it
It's
for
Jason's
himself.
brother.
Yeah, he's got to get there on his own.
JB, we'll call him for now. And he pins her down and blindfolds her, and she's like, if you're going to kill me, you have to deal with me looking at you, so don't blindfold me. Which I was like, okay, that has some balls. And
I
he's like,
appreciate her.
He's like, no, I'm not going to hurt you. And then she hears his mask fall to the floor, and he's like, I'm not going to hurt you. I just want one thing, and then I'll leave you alone. And she's like, what? He's like, I just want a kiss.
Aw.
And her first thought is like, I don't believe you, but also that leather smelled really good.
So she's mainly into the leather at
She
this point.
loves the leather.
All
of
right.
this guy. And she's like, okay, I have nothing to lose. Like if you say I don't believe you, but like again, I have nothing to lose. Let's just fucking do it. So she's like, all right, fine. And then he kisses her, and he like kind of bites her lip, and she opens her mouth, and then he kisses her like a hardcore, and he says, "Good girl." And I was like, oh, we got a little praise in there, and she feels it, and her fanny flutters, and she's like, wow, what an amazing kiss, but oh my god, I gotta get out of here. And so
So what does his face look like? Because
don't know.
She's blindfolded.
She's blindfolded.
Ooh, okay.
So, yeah. I was going to say much like Jade. I've never actually seen Jade, so I don't know why I keep saying it.
I don't know what this is.
Again, it's
I'll
only
watch
for
Jade
Keenan. We're all going to watch. Stay after.
Over to our apartment.
Stay after.
We're all gonna watch Jade.
I think it's Linda Fiorentino, I think is
Sure, yep.
in that. Anyways. So she frees her arm, and she kind of pushes, like she half-heartedly is like, no. And then she like puts her hand in his hair and is like, ooh, this hair feels nice. And I was like, oh, Hazel,
Our girl has a thing for
She's
the textures.
tactile.
For
She's
the,
quite tactile, yes. And her mind's like, you know what? It's just adrenaline. You're not actually into this, but also like, this is hot. The kiss ends, and he's like, okay, I'll let you go. And he gives her phone back. She dropped it in the woods, and he picked it up and is like, I don't want to kill you. And she's like, okay, what if I, like took your picture or something? He's like, you'd never do that. You're a frightened little rabbit. The cops would never believe you. Also, you're really hot, and I'm gonna let you go. Huh. And she's just sitting there with a blindfold on, and she hears him walk away, and she's like, oh, well, that was kind of him. Oh, all right.
What a good guy.
What a good guy. What a nice boy.
Feeling
So
that for me.
she gets up and leaves, and she's now walking in an unfamiliar part of the woods, and she's like, I'm pretty sure if I turn right, I can get back to the camp, but what if I went left?
What?
Now, what would you do in this situation, Keenan? You're right, she goes left.
Serial killer. Yeah.
Yeah, she does not go back to the camp. She's like, fuck that, I'm gonna go, I just need to walk.
Wait, she like decides to follow him?
No, she doesn't know where he went, but she's like, I think I just need to take some time in the dark woods.
Yeah, take some time for me. That was.
She needs some time for her. Which
Is that what you would do, Keenan?
Is that what you do?
Yeah, I think I couldn't go back immediately to like a teen party and be like, hey. Whoa. I would need a minute to kind of process all that just happened.
Would you go back to the teen party?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, especially because the friend said that they had just found Brett's body.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't want to be out there for any length of time because that would just be suspicious.
Yeah, correct.
And I don't want to be caught up in being accused of anything that I didn't do.
That's smart.
Yeah.
Me, I probably would have been murdered by now. So I'm just out of the story long ago. I would have been Kristen White 10 miles away from the camp.
You would have just been running.
Not even part of the story.
I wouldn't have run.
And run into a tree.
I would have hit him with the rocks and then went, well, running? No, I'm going to walk. I don't do cardio.
That's why you wouldn't be a good murderer.
That's why I'd be
Murderer.
a great mind murderer.
Continue.
Thank you. So she comes upon a dock and she sees a body and she's like, fuck, I should go check if this is like alive because I should help this. No, you wouldn't check if a man was. Oh, who's talking? I can't see. It's okay. I wouldn't either.
Would you check and see if the body was alive or would you just keep walking?
Yes, because I'm a good person.
I would just keep walking.
No, I'd fucking go. Well,
I would poke it I would find a long stick.
It's like she has to go out onto a dock though. So there's like a clearing, there's like a picnic table, and then there's a dock, and then he's at the end. Yeah. So she's like, fuck, okay, I'm gonna go check. And she does, and she realizes it's just a jacket on a chair.
Oh.
It's a trap.
Oh.
Sorry, hold on, let me say it like this. It's a trap!
Yeah. I get it.
Thank you. Now I understand.
That's a Star Wars reference for some people.
Never seen it.
Never seen it. So she turns and she's like, fuck, this is a trap. She turns around and the serial killer is sitting on the picnic table and he's like, got you again.
You have like candles and a little spaghetti dinner.
The dialogue in this book really did make me laugh. It was like, gotcha, and I was like, what? And she turns and she tries to like run off the dock, but obviously he's faster. He catches her, and he's like, come here, and then he brings her back to the picnic table. And so I was not crazy about this part. He brings her back to the picnic table. He's like, you should have gone back to the camp, and puts her like over his lap and gives her a spank. And then she's like, oh, and he's like, oh, okay, we're doing this.
Hold
and
on, Keenan had a thought.
Yeah, what's up?
Just a weird.
Was that a jaw drop?
That was a jaw drop and
Halfway.
a weird it was more of a like.
Didn't matter how.
That doesn't seem. I don't feel that in the character, but yeah, continue.
I
Yeah.
don't. I don't feel that his motivation is correct.
Yeah, did he spank her with the machete? Because
No.
that would make more sense. Okay.
No, just spanks her with his leather glove.
Just the side of
Well, and his hand in the glove, so a gloved hand.
She likes the leather though, so
loves
she
the
probably
Okay.
was
All
into
right.
that part
Okay.
of it.
She's into it. Cool.
Yeah.
And she's like, "What? No, but okay." And he's like, "I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm just gonna fuck you on this picnic table." And so she's like, "What?" And
Slivers.
actually, yeah, I would be really worried about that. And he cuts off her shirt, but she has her shorts and her like zip up hoodie, so she's fine.
With the machete?
With the machete.
Damn.
But he leaves her like with other clothes so she can walk back. So he's like really considerate.
Yeah. Wow.
And they undress, and then he blindfolds her so that he can take off his mask, and they kiss, and he praises her, and it leads to number one, which I call, that bra costs some fucking money. I would never want my bra cut off. Are you kidding me?
No, bras are really
Do you know how expensive bras are? How much do you think a bra is?
$30.
I mean,
Depends on where you get it from.
a
actually.
cheap one is probably like a Target one.
How much you think like a Victoria's Secret, which
$75.
actually, yeah, that's
Wow.
Okay.
This isn't as fun as I thought it was.
Give me more ladies' underwear to price.
Throw it up on
We tried to
stage.
trick you, and you
you were smarter.
Yeah.
You got one over us.
Good job.
Bean. So he gives her, they do the deed, and she's like, that was great. And he gives her her phone back, and he's like, okay, go right. Just walk that way. You're going to get back to the camp. And she's like, oh, what if I get lost again? He's like, no. No, you got to go back. And she's like, yeah, you're right.
Even he's like, you've done too much tonight. You gotta.
It's like you
time.
need to go get some rest, Hazel. Yeah. And he's like, oh, like I don't think I'll ever see you again, but like good luck.
Hey, thanks. I don't think we'll ever see each other again. You know.
Yeah, it's like that.
I've been coming to see you all summer. And
So
Hags.
so now she's back in Akron, Ohio, and that's how
That's where I was born.
Oh,
I was born in Akron.
should we give a little clap for Akron?
You don't have to.
All right, never mind then.
No one wanted to.
Don't clap.
No, it's okay.
She did get her job as the part-time florist back, so she's good on rent money.
Thank God.
She's thinking about like starting up her classes again. She only has 8 credits to like finish her degree
In florals?
in anthropology.
okay, great.
But she's like, I don't know. We also learned that she has depression, and so like there's just a lot of like, I don't know if I want to do this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then one day 2 guys come into the shop, and they're both super hot. One is with blonde hair and one is with black hair, and they're looking to place an order. They ask what she likes. She says orchids. The black-haired one ends up buying orchids and pays, and we see his name. You're gonna love this. His name is Ren Crystal. W-R-E-N. Ren Crystal.
Crystal.
C-R-Y-S-T-A-L.
As in like Crystal
Cool.
Lake?
Yes, as in Camp
Yeah.
Crystal Lake. As in the bird.
And
the
Ren is in Kylo Ren?
in
Like, is
Snoopy.
this
No,
a previous
W-
Star
W-
Wars fan fiction?
Oh no, I don't think so. What if it was?
Might be.
But
This is the one with black hair?
one with black hair,
Like Adam Driver?
It's probably Ren.
Yeah,
Kylo Ren.
maybe.
Yeah. So Kylo Ren is like, I'll come back tomorrow. Friday comes. She's feeling all
What
glum.
was the other one's name?
We didn't learn. It's just the blonde-haired hottie,
Okay.
blotty, if you will.
Bloody.
And she's thinking about the week. She goes home. She takes a shower. She has her 2 cats. And she comes out of the bathroom and sees that there's a bunch of orchids on her table. Kylo Ren Crystal Lake is in the kitchen.
Oh my god.
And she's scared and she doesn't move. And he comes up behind her and he's like, I'm not going to kill you. Why would I buy you flowers if I was going to kill you?
Oh, yeah,
dumbass?"
that makes sense.
Yeah.
You
And
moron.
he scoops her up and he puts her on his lap and he's like, aren't you happy to see me? And she's like, you're really hot. And that's like what she says. And she's like looking at him and she's like touching his hair. And she's like, why do you look so tired? And I was like, that's the first thing you say to the serial killer who has like come into your house?
She doesn't know yet.
she knows.
She just automatically knows that this is masked guy from
Pretty
the
much. I mean, who else would like come in and put orchids?
I don't know. It doesn't seem like she's a very observant person. Maybe she has 2 stalkers.
No, I don't think so. Well, I read the book. She doesn't, but
Okay. Okay, sorry. I'm being
That's
too
okay.
negative. I'm being too negative about
well,
Kylo
I
Ren.
don't agree with it much that this girl does,
Yeah.
so it's okay. But
All right.
it's a fun story, so stick around.
It is.
It's not a fun story. So she's like, "Fuck, you're really hot. Why are you tired?" He's like, "I need an alibi. I've been killing too many people,
I've been working too hard, baby.
and so you're gonna pretend to be my girlfriend." And she kind of feels a twinge of disappointment, and she's like, "Oh,
Pretend.
Time.
And he chuckles and is like, "Are you disappointed because I didn't say I missed you? Because I did."
Oh, wow.
And she's like, "Oh, fanny flutters." And he kisses her and he's like, "You're my girlfriend for the next month." And she's like, "Got it. Sounds good." But she's a little like hesitant.
Have you offered us a serial killer fake dating romance? Is that what we're doing right now?
Well, yeah.
Wow.
There's a lot.
This is great.
This is an all-encompassing. If you haven't listened to any other episode, this is
so happy about
all-encompassing. You're welcome. I'm happy. I did it for you.
Thanks.
And Keenan, mostly Keenan.
Yeah.
Because he won.
He loves fake dating.
He loves fading. The next day, she takes a walk around the city with her earbuds in, blasting music. And as she comes back to the apartment to find Ren there with dinner, and he's like, "I was following you all day, and you never noticed me."
What?
And she's like, "Why?" And he's like, "You were just too easy to follow." And I was like, he has nothing else to do. Like, what is going on? But
A hobby.
apparently, he does. He's the CEO of a environmental. Big environmental awareness organization called Green Co.
Wow. They do say CEOs are, a lot of them, they're psychopaths.
Yeah,
So-
that's true.
Yes.
That's true.
Wow. Okay.
He brought her favorite teriyaki chicken and rice, and they turn on the news, and it says that there was a guy that was killed, and she's like, "Did you kill that guy?" And he's like, "Oh, I don't know. Do you think I did?" And she's like, "Well, maybe you're taking credit for someone else's kill." And he's like, "Oh, it's a very like game on, like, oh, we're doing a sexy banter about murdering."
Keenan had thoughts about the teriyaki and rice.
No, it wasn't
Oh.
the teriyaki and rice. It just set in that I was like, I was all for this, and then I found out this guy was rich, and now I'm all of a sudden just like, oh, gross.
I feel like you might get back him because there's gonna be a detail I tell you later that you're gonna be like, "This is even worse," but also
Okay.
like,
You wanted like
Is
a
he-
working man's
is he
murderer.
Republican?
you wanted a blue collar killer.
Blue collar killer.
Yeah. Hey, I
like
get it.
the Greenpeace thing, but they're problematic too. But keep moving.
Yeah. He goes to take a shower. He comes back to find her listening to music on bed. There's some banter about how he kills people, and he's like, "But I'd rather fuck you than kill people."
Wow.
And she's hesitant because
Rather
she's
stab that than
Finish it. Finish what
Finish
you were
it.
saying.
stab that vagina.
So she's hesitant because the couple of times she's seen him, and with the fact that he's been stalking her, she's like, "Oh, I just figured it was kind of like a one-off thing. Like I
Yeah.
kind of figured you weren't interested." And he was like, "What the fuck?" Which leads to two, which I called body of proof because he's proving, and he leaves a trail of bodies because he's a murderer. And so he turns out he's very high up. In the company, he wants to take her to the Green Co Gala,
Cool.
and.
Love a gala.
And the next time we see her, she's wearing a dress. He's like, "Oh,
What does the dress look like? I'm sure it was described extensively.
it was a black dress."
All right.
They go to
got
the
things on her
gala.
mind.
She's like, "Oh my God, I don't belong." But he keeps telling people that this is her beautiful, perfect girlfriend. And she tells the masses because everyone's like, "I want to talk to Ren's girlfriend, Kylo Ren and Crystal Lake's girlfriend." And she tells the masses how she was an anthropologist who was finishing her degree. And he was like, "Wow, what a good lie you told." And she's like, "No, that's all true." And then he's like, "I didn't know that." And then he's gone. The next day, she's feeling. Wait, this is how I've read it. I swer to God, this
That's
is how it's
fine.
The chapter ends and he's just gone.
yeah.
And then
Oh,
it's
he's
the
just
next
like,
day.
"Okay, that was a nice night, and bye." I know.
All right.
It's guys, I know. So she's feeling humdrum at the flower shop because he's gone, and then a detective comes into the flower shop,
Oh shit.
and he's like, "Hey, was anyone matching Ren's description in?" And she's like, "I don't know. I've never seen people, and
Flowers.
I only see flowers." And Ren comes back saying he couldn't stay away from her, even though he should have. And she's like, "What?" And he's like, "I waited for you to text me, and then you never texted me." but it's killing me not to say that I want you. And I brought you waffles. And she's like, oh, I'm too nervous to eat. And she's like, I'll fix that. So he like sets her up and kind of feeds her, which I was like, I'm not crazy about
Wait,
that.
are they still in the flower shop while he feeds her?
Now they're back at home.
Okay, that's like a little better.
So he sits on the couch, opens this thing of waffles. She's like sitting between his legs
On
Wait,
the
he
ground?
didn't make
on
her
the ground.
waffles?
No, he just bought them.
All right.
They'd be soggy by this point, but okay.
Yeah.
He's a CEO. He doesn't have time to make waffles. He's killing people, and he's a
CEOs
CEO.
don't do a whole lot.
He has time to follow her through the city
Yes,
repeatedly.
Because his
Makes
priorities,
some fucking
his priorities are right.
So wait, she's on the floor,
She's on the
ground,
floor in front of him.
between his legs.
Yes.
and he's like leaning over in front of her and
I
forking
think she's
waffles. in her?
facing him.
Oh, that's even
Which
worse.
I don't understand. And
That's
I think
even weirder.
he's like, here you go. And I think he's like feeding her waffles as he's looking at her, which I was like, that would make me so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Oh, so okay. So, yeah.
Are you okay with this?
No.
Would
no.
you want
I'm
to be
just-
fed waffles? In
I'm
this
getting more of the like. It's in like a blowy position that you. and, like,
I think
that
she's-
kind of power dynamic.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
kind of.
But with
Underneath,
waffles.
eating waffles.
Yeah, and he's like, I don't trust you not to eat, so I'm going to feed you. And then somehow she ends up straddling his lap because she's like, these waffles are so good. There's some sexy banter, which leads to her biting him. And he's like, absolutely, which leads to number 3. Full tummies lead to stuffed ladies. And I was just like, that's stupid.
High five.
That's stupid.
That's great. I love
High
it.
five. Thank you. Good job.
That was a
Put that
really
on- You need to
precious high
put
five.
that on a shirt.
Full tummies lead to
Actually,
we'll talk. Everyone remember that for later.
I get
Yeah, for later.
10% of the profits.
thank you.
No, you get no profits. Okay, so there's more sexy time. And he's like, that's it. You're never getting rid of me now. And he coaxes her to come out to dinner, and she meets all his friends.
Oh,
And I didn't really pay attention to this part because I didn't care, but basically, they're all serial killers.
okay.
Yeah,
that was what I was gonna
I was
ask.
like,
Yeah,
this is my buddy Frederick.
it's a group
Right.
of serial killers. One's name is Virgil. One's name is
Yep.
Cass.
Okay.
Like Casper the Friendly Ghost.
Yes, and one's
Great.
name is Jed. Oh, and Sloane is in there too. She's with Virgil. That's book 1, everyone. That's book 1. And
Virgil,
Sloane.
Jed, and Sloane.
so this like
and
group of serial
Casper.
killers is just like normal guys. They all hang out. They like go to dinner, and they all have books written about them finding the loves of their lives while doing terrible things.
Huh.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's so cute.
I just want to. Now I'm like so curious about what the other 3, like which thing they're based on.
I started reading the first one, and let me tell you, it is.
They all have, and I say this as a person that lived in at least like 2 or 3 trailers in my life. They all have trailer park names.
But they're all like CEOs.
Virgil, Cass,
They're all-
Jed, and Sloane.
Virgil is a crime reporter. I do know that.
Okay.
So, high-paying job.
All right.
Journalism.
Interesting.
It was just
Yeah.
like, these are all people I would have seen on Saturday at the flea market.
Yeah. So it's a great dinner. She learns about their killing. She's like, this is scary, but I like it. She falls asleep in the car and wakes up, and she's like, where are we? And he's like, I thought we could do something fun. And they're in a remote area.
Oh God.
And she's like, I don't want to murder someone. He's like, bitch, I'm not asking you to murder someone. I want to chase you.
Yeah.
And I was like,
yeah.
oh, we're getting a primal. We're getting a primal kink in there.
Can I
And
explain to the people what a primal kink is?
it's like,
The game Primal Rage.
what is that?
I think it's when
Jake
you
knows.
fuck a monkey or a lizard.
That's the.
Oh, you fight a monkey or a lizard. Yeah, sorry, yeah. Yes, yeah.
Okay, did everyone else hear the first?
Yeah. Okay.
So you fight a monkey or a lizard. So
Yeah, but
yeah,
that's not it. Yeah.
It's like
That's
an
what a primal
adrenaline based,
kink-
like you're chasing. It's a very like you're at your baser instinct.
A lot of the time, it's like in the woods or outside
Yeah.
in
You're like
some
feral.
way.
Yeah, feral wood sex is very primal.
Yeah.
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 I've never. Anyways, I didn't need to comment on that. Sorry, Mom. So
You're a city girl. It's fine. You wouldn't have many
very few
opportunities.
woods
Yeah.
there's yeah.
You don't go camping a lot.
I don't
do
go.
it.
I don't go out in the
You
wilderness.
gotta do it in the cemetery.
Well, yeah. I'll figure it
Most
out.
woods.
But there's a lot of.
Oh,
Anyway, so
here.
this leads to number 4. It's called I Got Adrenaline, but like think of the sweat, because she runs and runs and runs,
Yeah.
which I don't think is sexy. I'm just still not like I don't want to be chased. Mm-hmm. I don't want to work up a sweat being chased.
Well, I
I would
think
love
with
it
the-
like,
with
oh,
the
you're gonna get
primal-
me in the bedroom.
The primalness, no, like then it comes, then you get the funk. like that sweat funk, and that's kind of, I think, part of the primalness is like we smell like we don't know what baths are.
Yeah.
Did I ever tell you about how I got scarred one time about sweat in general when it comes to lovemaking? Because this reminds me of it. So one time I was having sex with a guy for the first time.
Not me.
Not you. Okay. We had sex once and never again because of this.
Oh my God.
Because we were having sex and he was on top and I watched a bead of sweat go down and then hover at the tip of his nose. He just had a drop of sweat and it did this and this and then it fell right in between my eyes. And he like sweating so much, and ever since then I haven't been able to, like, if there's too much sweat going on, I can't.
Poor guy was putting in a lot of effort.
He was doing a lot. He was working real hard, but it was just that. Did
Did he have dead eyes too?
A little bit. That's also why I didn't have it.
For the people at home,
It didn't work for
he
me.
has decided to do dead eyes. Oh God,
He was very nice. He cooked me dinner. It was. We had a lovely conversation.
Before or after?
But then
Was he sweating into the dinner?
no, before, and then we had sex in his apartment. It was not. It was bad. Anyway, go on with what you were
I
saying.
kind of want to guess who it is.
I'm gonna dissociate over here for a
Later.
second.
We're gonna guess later.
Keep doing what you're doing.
So he basically they do this whole primal scene. I'm not gonna go super into it, but she's not blindfolded that time.
Hey.
And also in the dirty talk, he says just to like hit another kink off our list. Well, not just.
Yep, go for it.
Sure. And he says, "Oh, do you want me to breed you?" And I was like, "Oh, we've got a breeding and a primal kink."
Wow.
Okay. And she's like,
Look at him.
"Absolutely." And he
Good for them.
Okay.
Find your person.
Find your kink.
your person.
No kink shaming on Christmas. And
Yep.
and they just have a ton of sex with nails running up and down the sides.
Cool.
So it's been a month. Hazel's walking around and she's like, la la la, I have a boyfriend, and she senses someone is following her. And it turns out to be the detective from the flower shop.
Oh.
And he comes up behind her and he grabs her. And she's walking in kind of like a residential area. So he kind of like grabs her arm and pulls her into like kind of an alcove of an apartment building, but it's like not where the door would be. Like,
Yeah.
it's residential.
Do we have a name for the detective?
We are going to get one.
Sorry.
Soon when I find it in my notes. It's later that. Oh, Detective Hartman. It's Detective Hartman.
Hartman.
So we'll call him Hartman for now.
Phil.
Or Detective Phil.
Exactly
It's
what I
Phil.
thought. No.
Aw, R.I.P. And he's like, I was a cop. She's like, aren't you a cop? Like, what the fuck are you doing? He's like, I was until your boyfriend like got me fired. And she's like, he's like, you lied to me. I've seen pictures of you with this guy. And she's like, he's not. I don't know what you're talking about. He's my boyfriend. Blah blah blah. And she's like, let go. And he's like, no. And then all of a sudden, a German Shepherd on a leash lunges at the guy, and the owner is like, huh? And the owner of the dog is like, I said, let go. And it turns out it's Virgil, who is the friend, Ren's friend, who was following her, because who else would be following her?
Right.
He was the court.
Akron's a small.
crime reporter, right?
Yes.
Virgil was the crime reporter.
Yes.
I love that you're taking notes.
And the cop runs away, and the guy is like, I'm Ren's friend, remember me? And Virgil walks her home, and he's texted Ren, and Ren is immediately at the house.
So does Ren have they just all decided that they're gonna like take shifts following her?
I think it was like
Is it like a your mind protective thing, or are they just all really creepy?
I'm going to say both.
Okay.
I
Or what
think
if Ren just had an appointment and he was like, "Hey, Virgil, I'm supposed to."
Can you take my shift?
Yeah.
I have
I'm
a
supposed to,
board meeting.
I'm supposed to follow my girl around.
I have a stakeholder meeting. I can't get out of it.
Yeah.
But
Like from 3 to 5.
it reads like an actual happenstance, though.
Okay.
But I honestly think, like, oh, he must have been following her. 'Cause
There's no way.
Akron is not that small of a town, maybe? Never been.
I don't even remember, and I was
I
born.
think every town in Ohio
It's
is
a
about the
small
same
town.
time.
Yeah.
About the same size.
We have someone from Ohio. They could tell us, actually.
Hey,
Is Akron small?
It's smaller, but it's still a city.
Got it. Okay,
Okay.
so Virgil was definitely following her. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thanks, Will. Love you. Ren gets home. She's like, I'm so sorry. Like, I led this detective to you. And he's like, here's another great quote. Babe, I'm a serial killer. People are always looking for me. Also, did he touch you?
Babe, I'm a celebrity. People are always going to come after me. Right?
Sorry, I
gotta
wasn't
deal
done.
with.
I wasn't done with the quote. Did he touch you? I'll make a necklace out of his fingers for you.
Hot.
And she's like, I'm okay. I'm good. And he's like, it's a very touch her and die moment, which I usually love.
Keenan,
Yeah.
would you make a necklace out of a man's fingers if he touched me?
No, I think teeth would look better on you.
Thank you.
Would you make?
Make it out of a man's
Get you a man who can do both, you know?
You're the husband of the pod, so that means like we're married too. So would you make a necklace out of a man's teeth for me as well?
I would make you earrings.
You know what's funny? I was just thinking ears might be cool.
Yeah.
Aw, husband of the pod, Keenan Camp, everybody. That was so great.
Teeth necklace and earrings.
Thank you.
Leave those fingers alone.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. I know what I'm getting this year. So Hartman keeps following her. She sees him as she heads to Ren's house, and she goes into Ren's house, and all the killers are there because they're like, "What are we gonna do about this detective?"
Norm.
And they're all like, "Maybe I should kill him. Maybe I should kill him." And Hazel's like, "I'm just going past that." Hazel's like, "What if another cop does it? What if we like make a situation in which like somebody, he's all crazy and he attacks me and blah blah blah." And they're like, "This could be crazy enough to work." And Ren's like, "I don't like it." And everyone's like, "Shut up, Ren." And basically, then they all leave, and Ren talks about what types of killers his friends are. And I wrote this down. One of them is from a family of cannibals.
Great. Is that Jed, I'm assuming?
I think it is. I think it is.
Yeah, Jed is a cannibal name.
Yeah, Virgil only kills people that remind him of somebody. I think who was the third one? The other one I said? Cass like doesn't kill a lot of people, and when he does, it's scary, and that's what he said. So there you go. I had a cannibal thing for you. That night, she goes to the bad part of town. Of Akron, which is probably super nice. And she starts walking around, and she gets stopped by a hitchhiker with a backpack and stubble, asking for directions to the local, university.
And let me guess, because she's so smart, she makes such good decisions so far, she does not pick up the hitchhiker.
No, she's walking.
Oh, okay.
She's walking. They're like kind of by the bus terminal.
Got it. So she just meets a hitchhiker.
She meets a hitchhiker. She's like, "Hey, it's over there." And he's like, "Thanks, lady." And then walks away. She ends up walking to a warehouse, and the detective corners her, and she's like, "Great, now's the time. I know Jed and Virgil are like around the corner. I'm going to call the police." And he's like, the detective's like, "Yeah, do it." The police come, and they're like, "Okay, we're going to arrest this girl." And it's all like, wait, what's going on? Turns out the detective did not lose his job. It was all a sting operation to get Ren.
Oh.
And
wait, and they arrest her for like trying to help him.
They're about to arrest her for aiding and abetting a criminal.
Yeah.
When all of a sudden she sees in this dark warehouse something behind the cops, and she starts getting real scared because
and turned on.
The guy not turned on. The guy with the backpack comes out of the shadows with leather gloves and metal claws.
Yeah.
Oh.
We got a hobo Freddy.
And she's like, "Oh, this guy must know Ren. He's another serial killer."
Right. This is just normal for her at this point.
Very
She's like,
presumptuous.
yeah, of course.
And so basically this guy like kills these people in front of her, and she's like, "Great, so you must know Ren." And he's like, "Who?" And she's like, "Oh, this is bad." And he again,
I thought you all knew each other. I'm so sorry.
Sorry to presume. And he cups her chin. So much chin cupping. And then he goes, "You must belong to someone else." And I was like, "Oh, I don't know if he had an accent, but I think he did."
Yeah, that feels right. That feels right.
And then Ren just shows up out of nowhere, and he's like, "I'm here." And he looks at the stranger, and there's kind of like a flinch. And he's like, "I left the detective alive. Like, now he thinks I'm the serial killer. Like, don't worry, I won't be in town for long." And he like leaves. And she's like, "Who was that?" And he's like, "I don't know. And she's like,
Huh.
So then a few weeks later, they are officially moved in together.
Wait. Did I miss something?
No, you did not miss anything.
All right, I'm sorry.
It's a natural progression of
I feel like I'm asking a lot of questions, and I don't mean to.
I wish I had the answers for
sorry.
you, but I don't.
Okay.
But basically, they have move-in sex, which I got really lazy with that name. I just call it move-in sex, because don't we all have move-in sex? I wouldn't know, but I just figure...
Moving in. Moving in.
I was waiting for the third one. So they have sex, they're laying in bed, and she goes, "Who was that guy?" And he goes, "It's just an old friend. You don't have to worry about it." And she's like, "Well, okay."
Okay. Is that it?
And that's brutal.
Okay, so that's great.
Can I
They're using Freddy versus Jason. There are 2 Freddy versus Jason movies. So they basically just set up. I was like, ooh, that's Freddy versus Jason. They're going to fight over a girl now.
Can I just say, I did really want to do Butcher and Blackbird, which I would have been like squealing about the whole time because it's such a good movie, or a movie. It should be a movie. But this just had like all the elements that I thought you would really appreciate.
Oh, I appreciate it a lot. Yeah. That was fun, and I was surprised it was Kindle. It sounds like it might have been maybe. Did it start out as fan fiction and then they got it published or
I don't know, but like the name Ren is I can't overstate
People
how
were
much
named
Adam
Ren
Driver,
before.
Kylo Ren fan fiction
no
there
one
is.
has ever been named Ren other than Ren and Stimpy, and that is
Which was in the
then
90s.
Star Wars. That's
90s
it.
babies, Ren and Stimpy. There you go.
Yeah, I'm gonna at intermission Google because I'm really curious because I feel like there's no way. And it's also a thing we're getting way
She
out.
also has like blonde hair. She's never described until later.
The way that
on.
Daisy, she doesn't look like Daisy.
No, she
really.
doesn't look. She's like
All
has
right.
blonde hair.
Her
She's
name's
like,
Hazel.
well, that doesn't mean her hair has to be hazel.
Sure.
That's very, very presumptuous
Yeah, if she's supposed
of
to be the
you.
final girl,
You ever
she
met a
should be
blonde
fine.
girl named Hazel?
Now you have in Brutal by AJ Merlin. There you go. Can I get some final thoughts on that book?
Yeah, I loved it. I thought it was great, and I feel like I actually might have ran across the covers of these on TikTok at some point. I think somebody was.
Is it
showing
like a half thing and it's like a mask and then a naked
It more
guy?
looked like somebody like a standing with a machete.
Yeah, but he's like shirtless.
maybe.
Yeah, he has like tattoos.
No.
Honestly, this is like quite a few covers of Kindle Unlimited.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
this
this
could
is
be
a whole
anything.
genre.
No, I thought it was great, and I kind of had. I mean, my first, right when you said we were starting out as in a camp. I was like, okay, cool, great, and because I'm a big fan of the summer camp slasher vibe, and a big fan of Friday the 13th. So
But which was better, Friday the 13th or this story?
this was better than some of the Friday the 13th.
I'll take it. Was it better than Jason X, the one where they're in space?
No, never.
No, Jason X is incredible. Jason X
No,
is
it's
an
not.
amazing movie.
No one should watch that movie.
It's so good. It's so good.
Just so people know, a bunch of us watched that together, and
It's
it was
It's amazing.
You know what?
it knows what it is.
It knows what it is. That's
Just
the
like
best
this
way.
book.
Yeah.
Just
So-
like Brutal.
Yeah, I liked this. It made me. I got really mad though when I found out that he was a CEO.
Did that knock it down a few raccoons and
It
trash
just
cans for
made
you?
me go, ugh.
You know,
okay, fine.
people of all natures.
I feel like
can
that's
be-
really the best way to be a serial killer is you have to be really rich. Yeah, it was fine. It's more my socioeconomic distaste. I don't know. Yeah.
Jess, do you have any final thoughts on Brutal?
Honestly, this is probably the first story that you've told me where I didn't object to every single name of everybody. So
Hazel's a pretty normal
Hazel's
name.
a normal name.
So is Virgil.
Virgil is fine, I guess.
Virgil, Cass, Jed, and Sloan.
And I also appreciated the number of kinks that we got in there.
We had
There's
a
a
lot
lot
of
of
kinks
that.
in there.
Yeah,
I tried to
yeah.
really run the gambit
And
for y'all.
waffles.
And waffles.
Kinks and
Eating
waffles.
waffles like Blueies.
Oh, God. And with that, I think intermission?
Yeah, you guys ready for an intermission?
Yeah.
Also, as we were talking, I just want to say,
Yes.
so I called, so my mom is here. I don't know if you know.
Yes. She's so annoyed you keep calling her out.
But I did have to say this. I called my dad today because I said, hey, I know you're not coming. I didn't want you to feel left out. And he goes, okay, can you like mention me in the podcast?
Aww.
So I said, okay. And I said I would plug Jack Brugen's book, Secrets of the Trading Pros.
Yo, it is a riveting psychodrama.
About the secrets of trading
stocks.
in like the 90s Chicago.
Yeah.
I read it. I still don't really know.
It's like
what
American
about.
Psycho.
It's just like American Psycho. There is a cameo by like 12-year-old Emily in there talking about Claire's and their stocks. Real story.
Real in character.
So that's for you, Hackett James. That's for you.
But this isn't about him.
This
Round
isn't
of
about
applause.
that.
No.
I
Round of applause
want to hear more murder.
There we go. Okay, let's
Weirder.
get into it.
Yeah.
Let's get into the fan fiction.
The thick of it all.
So, when we chose this topic, Emily was like, "But you can't do an easy one." Because
What?
Because there are a lot of shows and movies that are about serial killers.
I honestly was like, you're going to go straight to Hannibal.
There's the Hannibals, there's the Dexters, there's every slasher ever made. There's a lot of fandoms that involve murder and being
Which we
involved
love.
with murderers, which we love. But I was like, okay, Emily, I won't do an easy one. But I did find a tag called Alternate Universe Serial Killer,
Yeah.
which is specifically for fandoms that do not typically have a main plot point about a serial killer, not the Dexters, not the Hannibals, but they're like, what if maybe one of these characters was a serial killer?
Phoebe from Friends.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, for real.
Out of all of them? Yeah, I bet.
Well, so Supernatural obviously almost always takes the top prize for most of these, but they're the top serial killer AU contender. And then the second highest is video blogging RPF Fix. RPF is real person fiction.
So video blog, as in like YouTube
like
blog?
YouTubers.
What's his face?
Shipping YouTubers.
Cutie Pie? Like Cutie Pie?
I don't know who any of these people are because I'm not.
Stroke? What are you?
I'm not young enough, but
Cutie
it's
Pie. Cutie Pie.
okay.
Don't know what that is. Joe? Do you know?
Wilbur Soot, Technoblad, Tommy Innit, and Phil Watson were the main
Sarah, you got
ones.
that? Yeah.
Do you
They're
two
all
know?
part of the- They're part of the Dream SMP.
They're part of the
Dream
Dream
It's
SM.
a
SM.
Minecraft thing.
A Minecraft.
That the kids are in.
And that's Minecraft is a game? That's a game.
Minecraft is a video game.
Is that the one where it's
The
blocks?
blocks.
Yeah, it's a
Good job.
box, and I think you can have like open worlds.
You can
and
have
these
open worlds.
People started like making stories in them.
Stories.
Ah.
And,
Got it.
making like their own like.
Did they
like,
mine-
universe?
Stories? In
my
mine?
God.
Okay.
Well,
Anyway.
anyway, there are 92 fan fictions imagining these YouTubers are serial
Jesus.
killers
Wow.
with each other in various ways. But there's a lot of dark shit on the internet, obviously. The serial killer AU tag is no exception. And it was a lot of wading through things and going, this might be too much for people. And then reading another one going, this is less of too much for people, but I think it still might be too much for people. And then I found one, and then just like you, I nixed it over the weekend and found a different one and read it because it just took me away, you guys. It just transported me to another world.
I wish you guys could see the amount of shit that we read for just like that we don't talk about on this like for this podcast that we don't do.
For every episode, I read at least 4 or 5
I also
stories.
and I read at least 4 or 5 books and
Yeah.
it's exhausting.
It's a lot. It's a
and
lot.
I am so messed up now because of it. And I won't stop.
I would have it no other way. Okay, so this is the one that I thought was going to be the most fun. Even though it may not have as much sex as Emily's, which I think is what usually happens anyway. So mine is called. Could I get a little drum roll, please? Mine is called "Mac Killed an Old Lady." As many of you may have guessed, it's from the "It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia" fandom.
Right.
It's by a wonderful writer called Wolfie Writing, and it was published January of 2020, right before they realized things was going to get weird. So a little bit about the It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia fandom. It's actually relatively small. There's not a ton of fan fiction. There's 3,000-ish. 2,000 of those pair Mac and Dennis together. And half of them are just vulgar, explicit smut of Mac and Dennis fucking
Are
each
the
other.
other big half like Charlie and Dee?
No, the other ones are just generally them being shitheads together.
Okay.
Like anything that has a pairing seems to be Mac and Dennis.
Got it.
Because they're roommates. Mac has that whole thing for a while where like we know that he's gay, but he hasn't come out in the show yet. And so there's a lot of fics of Mac like exploring his sexuality, and Dennis is also there in the corner realizing some things about himself. Who has seen It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia? Show of hands. Okay.
About a little over half.
A little over half. I think they just finished their 16th season, I believe.
Or 17?
16 or 17. They are now the longest running live action sitcom in history.
Shit, good for them.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll take a clap for that. And so the show is pretty fucked up. It's about fucked up people doing fucked up things. They are all narcissists and they are all awful, and that is just table stakes. And I need you all to come along with me on this journey with an understanding that this is a story about bad people and also they kill people. Okay.
I'm on board.
Yeah. So I'm gonna have you explain the characters and just like kind of the themes in general. But before we get to that, some quick trigger warnings for murder.
Sorry, it's murder.
Murder. For a canon, a thing that happens in canon. I can't stress this enough. In canon, Dennis has sex when he's 14 years old with a school librarian who looks like Rick Moranis.
And it's funny in the show.
And it's funny in the show because his whole thing is like, well, we were lovers. And it was completely consensual and it was fine. And everyone else is like, that's really fucked up, man. And also, she looks like Rick Moranis. And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. We were lovers and it was wonderful. So that comes up. So it's trigger warning for that. And just trigger warning in general for Dennis being a maladjusted man who gets triggered in this story and responds badly to it. Keenan, can you give the dear people who haven't seen It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia a rundown?
Yes,
the important
absolutely.
characters
Yes, I
are
can.
Mac and Dennis, but
Right.
a little bit about the others
Yes.
would be
So it's got Danny DeVito. Danny DeVito is the stepfather-ish of Dennis and Dee. Dennis and Dee grew up very rich and wealthy, and so they're both completely fucked up. Charlie and Mac grew up together. They are good childhood buddies. They both have very fucked up family lives. But
it's all funny.
But it's all funny.
It's all funny.
Yeah, it's good.
They're just terrible people, and we laugh at
They're
them.
just terrible people. They do horrible things, but and nothing works out for them, which is why it's palatable.
Right.
Because if they were these horrible people and everything worked out, it would not be as fun,
No, it
and
wouldn't be.
we would all be messed up as a nation if we allowed that show to go on as long as this has.
Yep.
So far.
I promise it's lasted this long for
And
a
it all
reason.
takes place in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Which is a beautiful.
the birthplace of a nation.
It's a city. Yep.
Tell me about like the character of Mac and the character of Dennis, though.
The character of Mac. Mac is very intense and hides a lot of.
This is exactly the right shoulder
Yeah,
movement. He does this a
lot of
lot.
shimmying and a lot of like air fighting, and hides a lot of his insecurity behind this very like bro-ish machismo like mask.
Mm-hmm.
Dennis is like a serial killer. Dennis is the most like.
He needs his tools.
Dennis has a problem with most everyone, but particularly women. Dennis cannot understand any. I don't think Dennis understands human beings, but I think women are even more outside of his realm of understanding. But he believes that he understands them.
He's very intense.
Yeah.
He's very.
He's an Andrew Tate kind of listening a little bit.
Actually, isn't he more like the guy that the Making a Murderer is based off of? Because
I don't think
very
so.
like. You know what I'm talking
well,
about?
there was an episode in which
Yes, but like that's kind of a hint. So Dennis being a serial killer is something that the characters joke about throughout the entire series. It is never actually fully confirmed, but it is heavily hinted at throughout. And it's also something that his friends just make fun of him for because they're like, "Oh, you're a piece of shit, and you don't understand how humans work. So clearly, you have bodies buried in your backyard."
Yes.
I mean, one of the best clips is when he's yelling at his sister Dee, saying that he'll make her into a skin box.
Well, she says, "Are you gonna make a suitcase out of my skin?" Think of the smell, you bitch. Think of the smell. I wouldn't do that. Think of the smell.
It's just so fucking funny.
It's great. So the
really upsetting for me.
and then the other important thing to know about Mac is he goes on a huge journey throughout the show where it's similar to the Dennis serial killer thing where it's hinted for a long, long time that he is gay, and then finally in season 12 he comes out,
recent, yeah.
and it's a very honestly beautiful episode. It's really lovely and good, and yeah. So those are the important facts to just kind of know. The other important thing to know is that the fic that I read is laid out in the format of an It's Always Sunny episode. So there is an entire side plot going on that while I'm telling you this with Dee and Charlie and Frank that we're just not going to talk about because I didn't have time. But like, just imagine that there are shenanigans going on in the background the whole time. Anything else that you wanted to tell the people about this fandom?
I think that's great. I want to hear some fucked up shit.
All right. It starts with a police officer at their bar, Patty's Pub, which is where they all hang out all the time. And the police officer says, "Excuse me, I'm looking for Ronald McDonald," which is Mac's real name.
That was his name.
Which is Mac's actual name.
Which is Mac's actual name. And the whole gang is there, and Mac's like, "Me?" And they all are very confused. And the officer basically explains, like, Mr. McDonald, we need you to come down to the station to answer a few questions about the murder of a Mrs. Klinsky, who I understand was your school librarian.
Oh.
And everybody kind of looks at each other, but no one looks quite as hard as Dennis, who looks at Mac very intensely, as Dennis does, and then goes up to Mac and grabs his face.
Cups his chin.
Grabs his face.
Serial killers love cupping faces and chins.
Grabs his face and says, "All right, Mac, it's going to be okay. We're going to get you out of this. Don't say anything to the cops. Just invoke your right to remain silent and to get an attorney, and it'll be fine." And then he kisses Mac hard on the lips.
Got
Yes.
it. Cool. Great.
Starting out with a bang.
And Mac is like, "What?" And Dennis goes, "We don't have time," and then pushes him away. And watchers of the show will be very familiar with this camera angle of the front door looking in on everyone at the bar with Dennis in the foreground. And Dee says, "What was that? Aren't you straight?" And Dennis goes, "Yeah, but like, he killed my former lover. How straight do you need to be to find that hot?" And then that's when we get the title card, "Matt killed an old lady," and we get do 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 do. And so then we cut to Mac in the police station. And Mac is not doing what Dennis told him to do. He is talking to the police. And he's saying, I didn't kill her. And he goes, "She was like super old. Like, how do you know she didn't just die because she was old?" And the police officer goes, "Well, she died because she was in an incinerator. So I think..."
That'll do it.
Yeah.
That'll do it.
I think
Could have fallen in a la the witch in Hansel
the Wardrobe?
Yeah, she just happened to
She could
accidentally
have.
fall in.
Allegedly.
Children
might have fallen.
Allegedly. They're
Maybe.
children. Who would ever?
maybe this old lady found an incinerator somehow. I don't know.
She was trying to clean it.
happens-
Old ladies clean stuff.
We just saw Nightmare on Elm Street. They have an incinerator in their basement.
That is the broiler where they burn.
Which is a small incinerator, if you think.
Okay.
I right?
I will confess, the story did not get deep into the details of the incinerator.
That's fair.
We're
We
going to
can
get
move
deep.
on.
I apologize, everyone. I'm so
Keenan
sorry.
and I will get deep in that.
So yeah, she was shoved into an incinerator and burned alive. So the cops are like, "We think that there was foul play involved here." And they had found a note that Mac had written right after the gang had found out about the situation with Dennis and the librarian, who is Mrs. McClinsky, who's the lady that died. And it says, "I know about what happened with you and Dennis. You're going to burn in hell for this." Yes.
No notes.
Yes.
Fair.
Very suspicious. Very suspicious.
Cheapito.
Because as a reminder, the gang all are like, when they found out about this, the gang all are like, "Hey man, that's kind of fucked up," and are disturbed by it. And it is only Dennis that is like, "I must shove this knowledge down. No, she was my lover. It's fine. We're fine. Nothing traumatic
A
happened."
question.
Yes.
I did not see this episode.
Yeah.
Do we see a photo of her?
She looks like Rick Moranis.
I just want to
of
see.
Rick
Is it a
Moranis.
photo of Rick
Think
Moranis?
of Rick
Or
Moranis in a wig.
I don't
Okay.
think we actually see a photo of her. We just get other characters that went to school with them
describe
going,
her.
"Oh yeah, the librarian that looked like Rick Moranis." Yeah,
got it.
her.
So we're all on board. Understood.
We're all on board. And so they're making fun of him for that, but they're also like, they're doing the It's Always Sunny thing where they're making fun of him, but they're also like a little concerned. And especially Dee is a little bit like, No.
Hey.
So, Mac explains to the officer, what happened and that he thought it was fucked up and he got really drunk one night and he was in his feels about Dennis, as he tends to be, and he sent this letter, but he knows it was a mistake and he definitely didn't kill her. And the officer is like, well, those are really strong feelings. Are you sure you didn't kill her? And Mac goes, well, I don't. And he's like thinking in his head, like, I wish Dennis were here. He's so smart. And he would know what to do. And then he goes, Dennis did tell me what to do. I am invoking my right to remain silent and to get an attorney. And he says that, and the cops are like, you can go. I don't know. So he leaves, and then we cut back to the bar where everyone is still dealing with the fact that Dennis just kissed Mac. And Dee's like, so you're in love with Mac now because he killed someone for you? And Dennis says, I'm not saying I was in love. I'm saying what he did was incredibly hot and romantic.
I get that one.
And it made me see him in a new light. And maybe I've followed him for a little bit, but I hope he doesn't kill any of my other lovers in a jealous rage, because that would be wrong.
That would be horrible.
That would be horrible. And he's like smiling a little bit to him. It's like, that would be really bad.
If he had longer hair, he'd be like, that was
That would be really awful.
Would y'all find that to be attractive if somebody started just knocking off your old?
Depends on who, because some of them I'm friends with, some of them I'm not.
A little bit?
There's a
See how it works.
Yeah,
allegedly.
If your
does knock it down.
if your new boyfriend started killing the ones that you're not friends with anymore,
This is not. We're not.
you know what? Yeah,
Table
Femmes
that.
Reading Filth does not endorse murder in any way. Keenan.
Yeah, Keenan.
Unless it's for love.
Unless it's for revenge or justice, as we've talked about earlier in this episode.
Yes.
Mostly justice. Justice first, then revenge.
So Dee once again says, because Dennis is like, well, she was my lover. And Dee's like, no, she wasn't. She was our librarian, and you were 14, and it was really fucked up. And Dennis goes, you don't understand, and then leaves. And then he goes to pick Mac up from the police station and takes him back home because they're roommates, which is also, I think, why there are so many fanfics of them getting together.
Only one
It's
bed.
an easy pairing.
Very easy pairing. You're living
But
in the same
also,
room.
they have a very, pinky in the brain type relationship.
100%.
Where
I never even thought of that until you just said it.
I thought of it while I was reading this fic, and it
I'm
became
floored.
very apparent to me, where Dennis is the brain and is kind of the
Yeah, no
one
shit.
leading the operation, and Mac is like, yeah, Dennis, you're so smart. I don't understand things. This is great.
Do you think every nah. I was gonna say, do you think every relationship is like a pinky in the brain? Like what's Pinky is Pinky and
Brain.
Pinky sounds like Keenan. It's Keenan.
Keenan, I want to know your thoughts about this.
I'm decidedly silent.
I am also, one of the things you learn when you get married is to keep the peace.
I think we have.
That's why you got friends that don't.
And no, I'm definitely the pinky. Yeah, very much.
Yeah, I am uncomfortably similar to Dennis in several ways, and we'll get into it. But so Dennis gets Mac home and immediately wants to make out with him because he's still so flattered that that Mac would murder someone on his behalf. And Mac is like, Dennis, wait. So are you gay? And he says, no, I like women. And he says, so you're bisexual? And he says, no, only women can be bisexual. And Mac is thinking about, and this is a flashback that I just loved in the fic, where Mac is thinking about all the times after he came out where he tried to convince Dennis to just go along with it and be with him. And it's just a quick flashback scene of Mac trying to put his arm around Dennis or trying to give Dennis a kiss or just happening to be on the couch shirtless hi.
Intimate, sexy moments.
And then he goes He goes, you said earlier, like when I tried, that straight guys don't like making out with gay guys. And Dennis says, well, you're suddenly hot enough that it doesn't matter. Why are we talking about this?
I get it. I get it.
And Mac uses all of his brain cells and thinks through the day and says, is this because you think I killed Mrs. whatever her name was? And Dennis is like, wait. The cops are probably going to question me. You shouldn't say anything else about how you didn't kill Mrs. Klinsky. Wink. And Mac is torn because Dennis is making out with him, something that he's always wanted. And he's having the best time of his life. And if he tells the truth and says that he didn't kill on Dennis's behalf, then Dennis might stop making out with him. And so this is a big thing for Mac. And so Mac goes, you're right. I didn't kill Mrs. Klinsky. And then winks. And Dennis says, exactly. And then he goes down on Mac.
I wasn't expecting that.
That's
So there's a blowjob.
I guess there's no in between. There's no.
He just gets on his knees and
because
sucks
for
his cock.
ladies there's like an in between.
Well, for guys,
A to B, there's a C.
body.
No,
There
from
is
A to C,
body
there's a
between
B.
the head and the penis. For
I have a torso.
yeah.
I'm not just like face and then dick.
Listen, I don't question what you look like in your off time. Okay?
There is an area.
I don't remove this tie and just
It's
fall.
just all. This is why I'm still single. I don't know. I don't get it.
Maybe pay more attention to the torso, and it'll.
She just keeps kissing
know.
necks, looking.
I don't want to go further. I'm ready.
And so then the next day, Dennis has been called into the police station himself, and he like kisses Mac on the cheek when he goes, and the whole gang goes, "Oh God." And are just very thrown by this. And Dennis leaves, and Mac immediately is like, okay, bye, and then turns and goes, you guys have to help me. I did not kill Mrs. Klinsky, but Dennis thinks I did. And if I say I didn't, he's going to stop making out with me. And the whole gang goes, okay, sure, you didn't kill her, wink, and then goes back to their side. And Mac's just like, but and then we cut to the next scene. So now we get chapter 2, and I do have, because if y'all have heard the podcast or at our last live show, you know that I can't just let you have a good time. We need angst. And so trigger warning specifically for chapter 2 for talking about being triggered and having a flashback and talking about dieting. You thought I would just let you have a good time?
Not on this podcast,
You
baby.
just thought I would let you laugh and enjoy yourselves? But yeah, I know those things are triggering for me, so I wanted to give them their own little moment here. Are you writing a note about that? Mm-hmm. What? What did I do?
You did nothing.
Hold on, one fist in between. There you go.
Oh yeah, can we? Yeah,
Sorry, just a little producer note.
I'm keeping it. It's good.
Yeah.
You can.
mic placement, really
Good.
important.
Fist,
Mic
so-
placement.
So Dennis.
Got him. Sucker.
So Dennis shows up to the police station, and him and Mac had spent the night before, and Dennis had sat down because he had a system for this, obviously. And he was like, we need to figure out moments in the day where you had an alibi, moments in the day where you had an alibi that I could verify, one where you had an alibi that others could verify, ones where I can give you an alibi with a proper lie, and ones called danger zones where I cannot give you an alibi because you idiot, you went for a run that night. What the fuck is wrong with you? And Dennis is just thinking, like, I wish it wouldn't have been as much of a sexy surprise, but I wish that Mac had just let me know that he was planning on killing my former lover because I could have helped him with this. And I'm just so much better at organization than him, and I just don't understand why he didn't clue me in. And he's thinking all of this, and then the police walk into the room, and they start to question him. And Dennis does not do well with the questioning, despite his handwritten notes that he brought with him to the interrogation room. Very me-coded, something that I would 100% do. And so the police start saying, so what was your relationship with Mrs. Klinsky? And he says, well, we were lovers. I was 14, and she was my 55-year-old librarian. And the police say, that seems weird. You were very young. And he goes, yes, we were lovers. It was very consensual, and we had a lovely time. And the cop goes, does it bother you that your friends don't seem to agree that it was a fun time? And Dennis goes, yes, it does bother me, because I am a golden god. I am in control of everything, and I know exactly what I'm doing, and they should take my word for it. And he goes on this whole tangent and gets upset enough that he has a flashback to the moment. And we as the reader understand that it is indeed quite fucked up.
They don't like go into the detail.
Not the detail, but it's all from Dennis's perspective.
So he just sees Rick Moranis.
He sees Rick Moranis.
Just dead-eye. Dead-eye Rick Moranis with a bead of sweat coming down the nose. Yeah! Suck it up!
He thrives on your boobs.
I'm doing my job.
And so we as the reader get a view into Dennis's brain and all the mental gymnastics that he's doing to convince himself that he is okay with this and that this is fine. And he kind of comes out of the flashback, and the police officer is like, oh, you just had a flashback. Do you want like a cold compress or a glass of water? And Dennis is like, I'm not some pussy that gets triggered. Fuck you. And then like tries to leave.
Can you see when a person has a flashback? Like,
I think in a funny
like in real
written
life?
context, no.
no,
You would if you were sitting across a table.
crazy. Like you're.
No, I agree with Emily.
Did I just have a flashback?
I don't like you right now.
No, but if
You're
you
acting like a big old butthead right now.
yeah.
I'm gonna.
If I look up into the sky with dead eyes.
That's just you on a Tuesday.
That's fair. That's fair. But I would thank him. I would argue that if you're in the middle of a one-on-one conversation with someone about something that you know is probably like touchy for them, and they just stop talking for a minute and look into the middle distance and like sweating, you might realize something happened.
I would think there's a murderer behind.
Maybe this was a well-trained police officer. I don't know.
Okay,
I feel like if
I
I
think
had
it's just funny. I think that's why it's written in there, is because you wouldn't know. And
I'm sorry if I wanted to ask a question, Keenan.
I'm just saying, I think it's just funny.
I think you're just being a butthead.
I was having a flashback.
So Dennis is triggered by the fact that someone noticed he was triggered. Been there. And the police officer goes, I just have one more question for you. And he's like, fine. And the police officer pulls out the letter that Mac wrote. And he says, how does it make you feel that clearly your friends are concerned about you with this? And Dennis is not upset about like the actual thing that happened, which was a fucked up thing. He's upset that Mac took Dee's side and believes that something bad happened to him. And he's mad because Mac should never take Dee's side. Mac should only ever take Dennis's side. And so that night at their apartment, Dennis is being a dick even more than usual, and Mac is just trying to help. And being like, we're boyfriends now. Can I make you dinner? Can I help in some way?
Made macaroni.
I was going to say, can I make mac and cheese?
I made Mac's famous mac and cheese. And it's okay. You guys are about to learn way too much about me, but I've had these thoughts before where Dennis, this will sound very familiar to you in some specific ways, not in the being shitty to you part, but in some other ways.
Okay.
Where because Dennis is so triggered, he's like, well, I must control something. And so he's like, I need to go on a diet. I need to go on a cleanse. I will only eat smoothies for the next week. And Mac is like, but I made food and you could eat it. And he goes, I don't need food. And Matt goes, well, I would like you even if you did eat food. Like, I think you would be fine and I would still be attracted to you. And Dennis makes an internal note to never trust anything Mac ever says again, ever. He is only handsome due to his very carefully calibrated choices. If he went around accepting unconditional love and admiration, he'd slack off and turn into a total uggo.
No notes.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
No. I mean, that's on point for the character.
Yep, it is.
That's on point.
It is. And Mac's just trying to help. Mac doesn't know what the fuck is going on.
Poor Pinky.
Poor Pinky just wants the brain to calm down. And then
Isn't that the problem?
yeah. And so then Mac is like, I just want you to eat enough so you aren't miserable all the time. And then Dennis goes, well, if you don't want me to be miserable all the time, why did you take Dee's side? Why did you send that letter about me supposedly being like taken advantage of when it was a very consensual relationship with my lover, the librarian?
I like that he keeps saying lover.
Yes, he keeps insisting that they were lovers.
It's funny. Can we bring lover back into like the vernacular?
I'll think about it.
And we're all doing it.
It works in this fic for a reason.
Audio medium, no one can hear. Everyone in here said yes. Cut everyone.
Lover
cut
works
everyone's
here
boob.
specifically because Dennis is such a piece of shit.
Please continue, lover. Oh. See? Doesn't work.
Not when you say it.
All right, lover.
Well, I'm not married to you. That's wrong. And
It's even
gross.
worse.
I'm going to say it to each and every one of you in the audience at some point in the night, and one of you is going to get a little withered.
Fem's real. FRF does not condone what Keenan's actions are. Thank you very much.
And so they get in an argument as much as these two can get in an argument, which basically is Dennis yelling and Mac going, I understand, I'm sorry, yeah, I shouldn't have done that. That makes sense. I would never take Dee's side. It's okay. Dee's a bitch, it's fine. And so he promises not to do it again, and then later Mac is heading to his bedroom to go to bed because he figures Dennis has been keyed up all day. He probably doesn't want to have sex with me or anything like that. And Dennis goes, where are you going? I'm fine. I'm not traumatized. I'm fully prepared to have sex. And so they do, and Dennis is happy to not think anymore, and Mac is really excited because he finds Dennis's prostate. Yep, he's thrilled. He's so excited about it. Dennis teaches him about like how to do it, and it's a lovely time. Nice. And Dennis is like still not in a great place, but he's like, this is what I want. I just don't want to think about any of this shit anymore. So fuck me, which I understand.
I get that.
Tickle the prostate.
Yeah. And so,
Little tickle
tickle
of
the
the
prostate. Tickle the prostate. And so, but Mac realizes that he's in a jam because he doesn't want to go to jail, but he wants to keep having sex with Dennis. And so he decides to once again go to the cops without a lawyer present to answer their questions.
And he's got one in his friend group.
Yeah, but he doesn't want to do
law.
that. Yeah, I mean, he does.
Bird law. My mom knows.
Yeah. So he like says, oh yeah, about a week ago I went for a jog and then I blacked out and I don't remember what happened. I probably didn't kill him, but maybe I did. I don't remember what happened. And the cops immediately are like, motherfucker, I don't know what you're trying to do here. And Mac glances around and then goes, can you guys keep a secret? And the cops go, yes, we can. Yes, we can keep a secret. And here, do you want to read this part? I wrote it down.
Oh, yeah, I can.
Yeah, read this quote in your best Mac.
I don't know if I can do Mac, but I'll try.
Start moving your shoulders.
Yeah, no. I didn't kill Miss Klinsky, but Dennis thinks I did, and he thinks it's super hot. I mean, not because she raped him. It's still in total denial. She's still in total denial about that. But, like, he thinks violence is hot in general. Anyway, I'm worried that if Dennis learns I didn't kill Mrs. Klinsky, he's going to turn straight again and leave me. Yeah.
I was gonna say we've all been there, but we haven't.
I was like, I feel like I should have done a sweep of that first before I read it.
Hey, that cold read was pretty good.
Thank
Hey,
you.
for your freaking
I'm just like, because it's like he gets really like caught up and really like talks over himself over and over.
I'm just thinking like fight mill.
But he's still in total denial about that. But yeah, he confesses to the police officer that he's really trying to like not get arrested, but he also really needs to stay a suspect so that he can keep being with Dennis. And the cop just gets so mad and is like, please leave. I don't want to hear about your weird sex games, but also I don't know what you said to me that was true and what you said to me that was a lie. And so I need a minute to figure that out and we'll call you. And then Mac gets home and tells Dennis, like, hey, I just want to let you know, I went to the cops without a lawyer present again, but it was for the sake of our relationship, but I can't tell you any more than that. And Dennis is really mad at him. And Mac goes, wait, are you this mad because you care about me? Are you this mad because you have feelings for me? And Dennis says, if frustration counts, then yes, I have frustrated feelings for you. But also, in his internal monologue, which we as the reader know, but Mac does not, he is very afraid to lose Mac.
Is this a dual POV?
No, this is just it's
internal wise.
It's it switches back and forth, but it does it very, very quickly. Like it's not like there's a chunk that's Mac and a chunk that's Dennis. Okay. It kind of just goes back and forth. Okay. Basically, like each scene transition is a different perspective.
Yes.
So this one is definitely from Dennis's, where he's like, I'm very frustrated with you, but in the back of his head, he's like, Mac is the only one that still knows that I'm a golden god. Mac is the only one that appreciates me for how awesome I am and like somehow makes life a little bit better, and I don't feel weak for relying on him to do that, and like that's fine because I'm awesome and I should never feel weak, but Mac does that for me. And and Mac like makes me feel like all of his kindness is a tribute to my awesomeness, and I really like that. And also the sex is really good, so I can't lose him.
It's just like weird because I've never seen myself in both characters before, so I'm just having like a hard time with this.
I know, it's very relatable. And Dennis once again says, why didn't you bring a lawyer with you? And Mac goes, I'm telling you, I was trying to protect our relationship. And Dennis says, have you understood nothing? We don't protect each other and depend on each other. I protect you and you depend on me. I keep you safe and you let me make the decisions. That's how this works. And eating dinner isn't what I need right now. And he stands up and goes, and don't talk to me for another 20 minutes. And Mac says, what's in 20 minutes? Sex. We still get sex? Of course we get sex. What, you're gonna piss me off and then not fuck me until I feel better? What kind of shitty boyfriend are you?
That's cute.
Relatable.
That's so
relatable. And so Dennis, they fuck and it's great. But Dennis decides, like, okay, Matt, I gotta save this situation because Mac is clearly out of his depth. So he shows up to the police station. These poor cops, and I never thought I would say that, but he shows up to the police station.
And he works so hard.
They work so hard. And Dennis has Charlie with him, and Charlie is wearing like an untucked, stained button-up, and is holding a briefcase.
Lawyer.
Charlie is pretending to be his lawyer.
He is a lawyer. He specialized in bird law.
Yes, he specialized in bird law, but Dennis, before they go in, is like, you don't talk. So it's just Charlie standing there with just his blank look.
Keenan, thank you.
Exactly like that.
You're really good at the blank look. What's the antlers?
The antlers really help. Good job. Wow.
I'm upset.
Wow.
I am upset.
And so Dennis is gesticulating wildly at this and going, my lawyer says that everything that Mac said to you is inadmissible in court and you have to throw it out. And the police are just over this and they go, you know what? We found the real killer. Mr. McDonald is no longer a suspect. Please leave and get the therapy that you need.
Who is do we find out?
We do. So the real, it's dark. Are you ready?
Always?
The real murderer is an entirely other character we haven't met yet. It's another former student that was taken advantage of by this librarian.
Got it. Revenge.
Well,
thank you, Shay. Hey.
It's them and their daughter who is getting revenge for how shitty their dad was because of what happened to them in high school. So she decides to kill the librarian.
A double revenge.
For real.
That should be a topic we do.
But anyway, that doesn't have anything to do with this relationship,
No.
so we're gonna skip it.
Okay.
And so Dennis goes home and goes, "Hey Mac, you're off the hook." And Mac's immediately like, "Are you mad at me? Because now you know I didn't murder her for you." And Dennis goes, "Hey, murder's hard. And not everyone is organized enough to do it." And
He's making some good points.
yeah, and he goes, "But also, we're not going to break up because live-in sex is great, and I want that. And I'm not going to say any of the other things that I care about you. Let's just focus on the sex part." And so then they do it again. And then we get to the epilogue. So, the epilogue. Charlie's Uncle Jack has mysteriously died. And Charlie, he committed suicide, but it was not, no one was expecting it. It kind of just happened one day. And Charlie's in the bar and he's like, yeah, he like killed himself. And like, they found all these weird like porno magazines. And like, I think Uncle Jack was like not a great dude. And Dee goes, "You wrote an entire musical about how he used to visit you in the night." And Charlie goes, "You don't understand The Night Man Cometh at all. It's about a boy becoming a man." And like storms off. And then Dennis leans over to Mac and goes, "Now that's how you do it." And Mac goes, "What?" And he says, "Neat, efficient, no angry letters, no police interrogations, no attempts to force Charlie to talk about or think about what happened to him. Just nice, tidy suicide. So do you want to go get dinner later?" And Matt goes, "Are you saying that you killed?" "No, I'm not saying that." Wink. And Mac thinks about it with his 2 brain cells and goes, "Well, I always figured Dennis was probably a murderer. And the sex is really great. So I guess we can go to hell together."
Aww.
Finn.
Murder that pussy.
I like that in both of our stories, the person who was not the murderer was like, okay,
All right.
yeah, I'll go with it. You're hot.
Listen, we all have flaws, and it is nice to find somebody that can look beyond those and see us for who we really are.
Exactly.
The inside, not the outside.
Yeah.
Yeah, and not like how you bring someone's insides outside.
Yeah. So before we get to our game,
Okay.
thoughts about that journey that I
loved
just
that. I thought that was very adorable. I love a good. I love It's Always Sunny, and I think they are one of the most fun things to. It's one of the shows that is most fun to write for, I believe, just because it is like you've got so much to work with the characters, and it's great. Nothing made me angry.
Really?
Like,
So
no.
minus 1 point, or
No. Like,
Yeah, did you want to be angry?
I think the only thing that I was upset was that the serial killer was somebody we didn't fucking know.
Yeah.
And I would have been like,
You wanted
you could
to
have
know
made
that
that could have
serial
been
killer.
one of the fucking weird family.
could have been the
The
McCoyles.
O'Doyles.
No, the McCoyles.
The
McCoyles.
O'Doyle's
The
Billy Madison. Yeah, they rule. Those ones rule. Yeah, got it. Wonderful. I was thinking it would have been like a McPoyle or would have been somebody out.
No,
Cricket,
they went
Yeah.
full dark with it.
Or it would have
Actually,
even been
Cricket
like
would have I would have loved it if it was Cricket. Or Artemis.
Artemis.
That
really
would have been a
great.
good
Yeah.
killer, too.
Anybody coming out, I thought that was the only cop out. The rest I thought was really good. I thought they got the voices of them quite well.
Yeah.
I felt like
So much of my notes was just direct quotes because I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
this is just too good to not read out.
it was a
loud to
good
you guys.
structure of an episode.
Yeah.
For that. So yeah, I was pleased with that. I didn't have as many jaw dropping moments. I was more just kind of enjoying it as I would a episode of It's Always Sunny where I'm like, no, that's fucked up.
That's fun.
So yes, not as many jaw-dropping moments, but I enjoyed it a lot, and I thought it was very cute.
Thanks.
Especially, I thought I love Mac and Dennis and their will they won't they constant vibe. So I think that was very adorable.
Mac wants nothing more than for Dennis to love
Get
him.
better.
And
Love him.
and be better.
Mostly love him, but be better. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And
out of 5 raccoons
in trash cans.
in trash cans, what would you rate each of our stories based on the research that you heard about serial?
Sure. That's a second drink. We've only had 2 drinks.
I know
each
these
of
were.
us all
I like
tonight.
these drinks. Thank you, Otherworld. Serial killers.
So, this is my thought. I'm going to give. I liked them both. I'm going to give you 5.
Oh, that was again. You pointed at me.
Yes. I pointed at Emily. I'm giving
Emily gets.
giving Emily 5 raccoons because you hit a lot of good points for me. And the end where it's like, oh, it's Freddy. It's Hobo Freddy at the end. That was like, I was like, oh, that's an extra thing. And I'm only going down on. I'm only going down in raccoons,
Thank
not
you.
on raccoons. With you,
You saved it. Good
just
save, good
because
save.
because we didn't. The serial killer wasn't the love interest, and that's what I was hoping for. And then the serial killer wasn't somebody that I wanted.
The serial killer was the love interest. Dennis
was a killer.
Was, but not for that. He didn't kill.
We didn't
it
hear
for-
about his kill.
We didn't hear about his kill.
We wanted
Fair.
more details about him taking a life.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I would say only. And we had some more. We had some more fucking in the first story, and we had some more killing in the first story. So while I did like this, your story, the It's Always Sunny story, is one that I would gladly share with relatives.
Really?
I think
Honestly, I
the
can
other
see
one
really?
is one that I would gladly more share with friends. Does that get a vibe? Does that make sense? Like this is a little more safe. Like this one's a little more like, oh, well, we're.
I thought that for sure mine because it talks about pedophilia and stuff like that.
And I'm a big fan of that.
Well, you said share it with your family.
Oh no, my family's cool with it. No, my family.
I am.
I think it's just more
Jesus.
their relationship was cuter and less problematic, I guess, than like
Dude, I
Mac
know
and
your mom.
Dennis's
That's crazy.
relationship was cuter and less problematic than I would say than your Emily, your
I don't
pairing.
understand what you're talking about. Hazel and Kylo Ren, Crystal Lake.
So
were-
I'm gonna give 3.5
Okay.
to Always Sunny, just only because we didn't.
Thanks, Sean.
We didn't have as much fucking and as much killing, and we didn't. And the serial killer wasn't in that one of those the shipping area placements.
Okay, so 5 for me, 3.5 for Jess. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Those were our stories. Do you guys want to stay for a quick game?
Yeah.
Amazing, because we're going to make you stay anyways. Okay, so we are going to play
that's
Would You Rather. So, and this is Would You Rather like fuck. Or date?
Both.
Okay, all around.
Be in a relationship type thing where you have to have sex and spend some time with this person.
Not a
Long-term or
sexless
short-term?
marriage. Oh, let's go at least a year.
Hannibal Lecter is the one I pulled.
Yeah. Oh, I'm pulling another one?
Yeah.
Oh, we're all playing. I love this.
Oh.
Wait,
if you-
Wait.
Oh,
Give it a
oh,
second.
I
Have you ever played
I
Would
had
You
to
Rather?
decide whether I wanted to just fuck him or be in a
No.
long-term
You're comparing.
relationship.
Who
or
would you
Michael
rather?
Myers from Halloween.
Which one would you
Hannibal
rather?
Lecter. Yeah, 100%. He's got a job. He knows how to cook. He's a little classier. Michael Myers does not talk. We have no
I
conversation.
love that. Love that.
It's just like,
He's tall. Love it.
yeah, but no, there's nothing there.
Can I specify the Mads Mikkelsen version of Hannibal Lecter?
Oh, then
Yeah,
I'll
of
go
course.
Hannibal.
Yeah, that's the only one.
That's the one I picked.
Not fucking Sir Anthony Hopkins.
He's got a good cheekbone, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go Mads.
Yeah.
We'll go Mads.
I think Mads.
Okay, next one. Jason from Friday the 13th or...
The Saw puppet. This is just bad all around. I'm gonna say it.
Jason's,
Yeah.
again, taller, but the saw puppet
I'm
has
gonna-
that tricycle.
But I'm gonna have to go with Jason just simply because has working orifices, then
I thought you were gonna say he's like a working man.
No.
He's like blue collar.
I don't know how anatomically correct the puppet is, and
For
I know
this
the
game?
mouth is just a square.
Can I get a show of hands if anyone would fuck the puppet? Jake.
Jake. Thanks, Jake.
All right.
Good for you, Jake. Thank you for your bravery.
Give me one more. Give me one.
Yeah.
Give me one. Give me one more. I want one more.
Well, no, we're gonna keep
We're
going.
gonna keep.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna do at least
a
3 or
bunch.
4 of these.
Yeah.
Leprechaun.
Or Norman Bates from Psycho.
Norman Bates.
Oh, mommy issues or money issues?
I can work with mommy issues. I can't do leprechaun.
Yeah. I'm going.
We can
Norman.
find a way.
I'm going
to-
Norman Bates.
The leprechaun has gold. He can buy you anything.
But Norman Bates has that like
He has a house.
Yeah, creepy
he's got
smile.
that skinny indie rock kid energy that where it's like, all right, I can throw a cardigan on him, give him some of my glasses.
He cleans up nice.
Cleans up nice, yeah. Other than the mom in the attic,
His mother will always come first.
2 more.
Okay, the Babadook.
gay icon.
Ooh, Candyman.
Oh, I'm fucking Candyman.
Yeah, I am too.
I don't like bugs.
Candyman has Candyman is suave though.
Candyman is also like a
excuse me.
misunderstood. Like he's got some past that should not have turned him into Candyman.
But the Babadook has a top hat.
And
He's suave.
doesn't he have like claws? Or
I've actually never seen it, so I don't know.
it's pretty good.
I don't know if the claws would
mine.
work.
But no, Candyman is just sexy. It's
Candyman is
Got a
sexy.
cape. You're right.
Yeah.
Cape over top hat.
Keenan, do you want
Yeah.
to pick one?
Shit.
Other than the claw, the
Yeah.
hook hand.
No.
Actually, no. I'm gonna go Babadook. I don't like bees.
All right, am I picking 2 for both of you? Like 2?
Oh,
that
Whatever
Yeah,
you want.
do
Whatever
it.
you want.
Okay.
You're the
this
guest.
is good. This is good. So this will definitely test. So Ghostface from Scream. So the first 2. So I'm going to say both Skeet Ulrich or whatever.
No, it's like the person in the mask.
Yeah,
We're not
it's-
gonna go behind the mask.
No,
Fine.
we're not the man behind.
But also, if we were
just
Skeet Ulrich.
Ghostface, a bodiless cloak with a mask.
So is
Yeah.
Michael Myers. We already guessed on him.
And Carrie.
Carrie.
Yeah.
Scream.
Carrie.
Ghostface. Carrie has mommy issues again.
I know. I can work with it.
How do you know Ghostface has a penis if there's nothing in there?
Why are you so
Fine. It's
I'm just saying.
Fine. It's Skeet Ulrich.
Fine. Okay, great. That makes me happier. All right, one more.
One more.
This is a good one, too. This is classic. Chucky or Pennywise.
I just
And it's not, it's Tim Curry Pennywise.
I want to leave this place right now.
Is
I
it
wrote
weird
these.
that the fact that it's Tim Curry Pennywise
Makes it
actually
better?
shifted it towards that for me?
I know,
A little bit.
that's not weird.
A little bit.
I felt like I gave an easy one after
I think Tim Curry's Pennywise. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't like clowns, but I'll take that over a doll any day.
I guess this could also be in the pantheon of like nightmares, but I saw a clip from that when I was a child, and that has made me scared of a little scared of clowns ever since.
Yeah, but Tim Curry though.
So are you going to take the seat of Chucky?
I guess I'd go It. I don't want to fuck a doll.
Pennywise is his name.
Yeah, I don't want to. I don't
Yeah,
wanna fuck a doll.
It.
Do we want to do one
Let's
more?
do one more. I want to do one more for the audience.
Okay,
Can I do one
yes.
more for the
Okay, all right. So we're gonna do a
Absolutely.
show of hands.
Show of
Hold on.
hands.
Okay.
Let him say both of them first.
All right. Let me say both from both of them first. We have Jack from The Shining. Okay. Or Dracula.
So all
I'm
who
gonna
wants
say Bela Lugosi Dracula.
not Gary
Not Gary
Oldman.
Gary Oldman. No, fuck you. No, Gary Oldman Dracula is too hot.
All in favor of Jack from The Shining, raise your hand. All in favor of Bela Lugosi Dracula?
Bela Lugosi Dracula. Yeah, he fucked.
Oh, he thought.
You shifted it by saying Bella Lugosi.
I know.
Wait, now what if it was Gary Oldman though? Would everyone still keep that? Oh, Ryan's hand went
Gary
right
Oldman's
up.
got some
Yeah.
Hey, that was our game.
That's our game.
So before we go, we're going to pick a winner for our raffle.
Yes.
And you are going to get a prize from the Last Chapter Bookshop. Again, it is in Roscoe Village in Chicago.
Yes.
If you win, please come up to us afterwards, and we will
We'll hook you up.
We'll hook you up. We'll hook you up.
Do you want to guess?
Hey, Keenan, do you
want
want to do it?
Yes, I do.
All right.
Keen Bean. Aw.
Thanks, Bean.
If it's somebody I know really well. The one that screamed.
Sean Buckley.
The one that screamed, you can't put it back.
Yay. Okay, Sean, see us
See
afterwards.
us after. We'll get you sorted.
Hey, this was a really nice show.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Thanks for coming out, you guys.
Keenan, before we let you go, do you have any plugs? Do you have any things you're doing
I
you want
would
to tell the folks
love
about?
to
I'm
plug
sure they
some
know
stuff.
nothing about it.
You have to say it now, though. You
Yeah, no. I do musical improv at a couple of different places. At IO Theater, there is Riff, Chicago's music improv party. It's a lot of fun. That's Saturdays at 10 o'clock. And then here at Otherworld Theater, where we are recording this right now,
Yes.
on Fridays is Lost Realms, which is improvised musicals from beyond. We do a lot of
It's really fun.
nerdy sci-fi, fantasy, or horror musicals. Every night is a different genre. This week that's coming up is Stephen King.
Ooh, fun.
Yeah.
I will also say Chicago Reader has a best of 2023 right now. They have a bunch of nominations going out. We are trying to get nominated for Best Podcast. So if you guys like this, hold on. If you like this, please nominate us. If you didn't like it, please still nominate us because we have other episodes that you might like. And go ahead, Keenan.
You can also nominate Riff and Lost Realms for Best Improv / Sketch Troupe and Best Comedy Show because that's a new thing now for that category.
And we're happy about that. We're excited.
Yeah, I'll vote for you if you vote for me.
I'll vote for you if you vote for me. Anything else? Go visit Last Chapter Bookshop. They're amazing. Please support
They're
local
wonderful.
businesses.
And our
to help out the Friendship Center Food Pantry. They're a lot of
Yes.
fun. They're very good. They help a lot of
Yes.
people up in the Lincoln Square neighborhood and
Yep.
area.
Which is where we live.
Volunteered for them before. They are good people, and it's set up very easily. So it's kind of like a grocery shop. You don't feel like you're just being
Given food.
given
Yeah.
food. You can kind of go
Shop
and
for
it's
it.
allow
Yeah.
people to do their own thing. So it's really
Any more plugs?
helpful.
I wanted to say thank you to Bryce in the
Thank
booth.
you, Bryce.
And I also wanted to say we are currently recording our third season of the podcast. So please keep an eye
Who's your
out.
guest?
Our guest is the wonderful and incredible Julie
Merica.
She has her own podcast called
Make
Your
Your
Damn
Damn
Bed.
Bed.
But stay tuned. I think they're going to come out within the next couple of months. And just, follow us on Instagram, Facebook. Like us, love us. Send us messages of anything that we haven't covered that you're like, why haven't you talked about this yet? Because I want to hear a book about it.
We love you all. We appreciate you all.
Yeah,
You're the very best.
Thank you so much for
Thank you
coming
for
out. It means a
coming.
lot.
Remember, only kill for love and revenge.
Femmes Reading Filth is hosted, produced, and edited by Emily Barusian and Jessica Mall. Intro music by Tom Lehrer. Outro music by David Reddick. You can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at Femmes Reading Filth. Thank you for listening.
Bye.
Bye.